Oh, good.
Okay.
Do you want to do this way, or do you want me to do this way?
The minutes?
No, the
You do it.
Run the meeting.
all right.
Yeah. I'm always happy to.
So let's call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. We do need to authorize, do we vote on this, Martha? Deb and
Chairman, you
Tim?
can authorize
Okay.
the vote.
Okay, so Jeff and Carolyn are absent, so we'll authorize Deb and Tammy to sit in their place.
Mm-hmm.
The minutes of the May 2nd meeting were recorded, sent around previously, and are posted on the town website. Is there a motion to approve them?
I will make that motion.
I second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next, and then communications is up first, under item 1 also.
This is yours.
That's okay, I have.
Oh, you got it, yeah.
Right.
What? Time, John. You're on at 10:10.
10:10.
Okay.
Do you have a survey?
I knew it was at 9, so I just showed up.
I never saw.
Okay, do you have a copy of your C of A somewhere? None of us received it.
Did you
The application,
fill it
did
out?
you-
with-
Yeah, I have a copy with me.
Okay.
Wonderful. I don't know.
Matter of fact,
I have
what I
some-
did is, well, there's a copy of it. In any event. And then when we left, I thought it was just additional information you folks were looking for.
Right.
Yeah, so I've assembled that
Okay, great.
as well. So I'll be back at 10-ish, I guess?
Yeah, it says 10:10.
All right.
I'm sorry. When is it?
10:10.
Town Hall, 10:10, yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
Thank you, Phil.
thanks, I can use the time.
Okay, communications.
We sent a letter to the owners of 2 Civil Lane, which is the house that they're putting up new columns in the front. It looks like a repair. I haven't heard anything back. We've asked them to either fill out the like-for-like form or fill out the C of A if they're using different materials, but so far we haven't had a response on that.
That's the second letter you sent, correct?
Yes.
Is that the child's old house?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
And the pictures have very handsome columns, and what has been put up or just...
Yeah, the straight.
Yeah, it looks like, I'm hoping they're going to put something around it.
Yeah.
Probably
Like a
will.
cake.
We need to know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, we need to send another communication, maybe certified mail, maybe a little strong, just to make sure they.
Yes. The address is a New York City address.
I know she's in New York, but I think she also has another place somewhere else, so who knows if in fact she's gotten
It
that.
may just take a while, I don't know.
But perhaps the three of us can consult on language as one more letter follow-up. And then we get into our great enforcement authority. We're laughing because we don't really
I
have
was about
any.
to say, I've always been curious about that.
It is a zoning enforcement officer who has authority to enforce, but Dan is leaving, and is swamped, so.
A week.
There is authority by the Connecticut statute.
Yeah, and then there's a procedure to bring litigation. I mean, that's the only way you can enforce it.
Yeah.
Right.
Which we don't obviously want to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Do that. You really just want to handle it through the CEO.
Right.
Or just ideally through
But
conversation.
now we don't have now the CEO is going to go, because I do think people pay attention when it says, zoning enforcement officer.
Yeah.
Maybe a little slightly more than,
Yeah, when you get something from the commission, you're like,
so anyway,
Uh,
okay.
But
So we're
we'll-
going to
we'll
discuss.
consult on that. Any other communications?
Also to 70 Lime Street, Eric Torriello, he's extending his stockade fence
Yes.
past where the original one was.
Yes.
So we had approved the replacement of the original fence, which was falling down, as a like for like, but then he added like 2 more sections.
Right.
They haven't been, I don't think they've been filled in yet, there's just the posts there, so we've just asked him to come for approval for the extra section.
Has he replied to you?
No,
No, okay. Is that the first letter or the second?
that's the second.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then 97 Lime Street had some communications.
Yes.
I have copies if you see those. Did everyone see them?
yes.
Yes.
Okay. So
Complaints from neighbors and we'll be talking to
when
them.
they're here, we can mention those things.
John, can I ask a question? Because I am a budding property owner
Yes.
to that property, and I'm also not happy with the condition that it's in. So am I to recuse myself from that discussion, or?
I would, that's a good question. I wouldn't think so. The difficulty for us is basically we have jurisdiction over structures, things affixed to the ground. So if somebody wants to leave a junky car in their yard,
Right.
it's horrible, but it's like, I
Right.
don't think we can do anything about it.
Well, there's zoning enforcement of vehicles. You can have one unregistered vehicle. And so a junkie car, there's clear zoning, but it's not under the historic districts.
Right.
Well, this is like the equipment. That,
This
Right.
is equipment and a giant wood pile and tarps and miscellaneous.
Sculpture.
Is it affixed to the ground?
I mean, do we ever write
Like
something?
gravity.
It's sculpture at that point. And sculpture can't be seen.
Yeah.
Hence the fence.
Do we ever write to just say that we've received some communications? Or do we not do that? Do we let the zoning officer do that,
I
which he
think
won't
we
do if he doesn't
can
have
bring
time?
it up in discussion.
So-
The
Down to that, right,
communications came to us
Yeah,
today.
okay.
See how it goes. Boy, should Deb be recused? What do you think? I don't think so.
because
It's not.
it's not about your opinion. It's about.
We're all kind of property, I mean,
Yeah,
we would all be in
live.
that, we
We all
would all
live.
be in that
I'm-
position
Okay.
constantly.
I'm
because
basically across the street
Yeah.
or virtually.
Okay, so yeah, you know too then. Okay, good.
Any other communications?
No.
All right. Public open forum, no one is here. Russ, brief update on the GIS. Russ has done some terrific work with the
Yeah.
map already.
So at the last meeting, John reviewed the clarifications by the town attorney, and I have taken those clarifications and updated the map that I'll share with you, that highlights a change, not a change, but a clarification of the historic district boundary.
numbering these things is very helpful.
Yeah, so number one, clarification number one is that the town green to the north, it's Sill Lane, and Boston Post Road. The written definition of the boundary is the southern boundary of the town green, and that was highlighted at the last meeting. And so the 1970 map actually showed the boundary along the northern boundary of the town green. So the change that you see here is that the town green, number one, there is not in the district. Items 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are what is described as wraparound lots. So those are lots that have frontage on Lime Street, but then have part of their lot wrapping around behind another lot that's a short lot, that's not the full 300 feet, that then is now showing those, including the wraparound portion behind the short lot. I'll note that there were some other examples or other points that John was able to clear that were not wraparound lots. Maybe, John, you could highlight just a couple of examples that you had on that.
That were not wraparound?
Right. Remember that for example, the ice cream shop and the ownership of that piece of property.
Was that 7?
It's just to the northeast side of 7, bordering on Lime Street.
Russ, can I ask a question? Just to clarify for my own thoughts. So if we look at 97 Lime Street, so the whole property is shaded in. So does that mean that the whole property is considered historic? Or is it just the map is just showing it like that?
Well,
what number is this?
Well, it's right by the
It's right next
cul-de-sac next number 3, to the right of number 3.
Yeah, so basically, this map is a representation of 300 feet.
Okay.
But in fact, if you look on the GIS for that particular property, it's pretty well within the 300-foot
Okay.
district.
The whole property.
The whole property, yeah.
Okay.
The one awkward thing I should mention is they don't let you do historic districts this way. They require surveys, and you've got exact boundaries. In some cases, one is that's coming up today is Pamela Hamilton's place. The whole house is not. The house is with you.
Right, because it's so...
And I talked to Dan Bray, and he says with zoning, sometimes you have a zone.
Right.
A house, actually. He said, we consider if any part of a building is within a zone that has restrictions,
Sure.
then the whole building is subject
Right.
to those restrictions. So we're using that analogy with Pamela's. I mean, it makes no sense to have, we have jurisdiction over the first third of the house and your roof, and then do anything you want. This, if you look at where the ice cream shop is, and you see
Help me with that property.
Okay, and you spot Library Lane.
Is that here?
I actually have it highlighted on this map. What I'd like to show is that this is
The one we have, yeah.
the one that you have now is the kind of the draft or final iteration after John and I went through several properties that appeared to have wraparound lots. So, for example, and I'll share this.
I just want to figure out where I can figure out
Yeah.
this side of the street, but
Yeah, so what I'll show you on this one is that number 10, and here you go, John. Number 10 is the ice cream shop
Okay.
location.
Oh, with that little bitty,
Right, and so the idea being that if that little cut to Lime Street was owned by the property, where it's highlighted as number 10.
Oh, it's not this number 10.
Yeah, it's not that number 10.
Driveway.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Their driveway. It's
Right.
really their driveway.
It's really their driveway.
Yeah.
So we remove that as a wraparound lot.
Because that driveway,
Right.
number 10's driveway is owned by the lot on Lime Street.
Yeah, and just so you guys know.
So that becomes a wraparound lot?
No.
It does not become one, okay.
Right.
But if you look at number 11, you can see that that driveway is actually owned by the rear lot. So the rear lot is a wraparound.
Oh my gosh,
So that's the greenhouse that belongs to to the professor, right next to the,
Well, there's no...
right opposite Library Lane,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'll make one other note when you're looking at these numbers. So this had all 18 or 19 items that we originally identified. Once we boiled it down to the 11 that you see here, it's a different numbering. So the numbers don't align between the two, right? Yeah.
The other issue on this 300 feet is we do have jurisdiction 300 feet back streets, back on streets. So for example, on Ferry Road and the Ferry Road sidewalk, we have jurisdiction over, that's why that's before us, but our jurisdiction extends 300 feet, and I'm not sure that's shown with your shading.
It's not, and I'm not sure
Well, there's a little shading there. There's a
No,
little.
but it doesn't
Not
go
300
back
feet.
300 feet.
oh,
Yeah, could go back on, yeah.
Well, but John, I thought the Connecticut statute said that we could advise, but I'm not sure we have jurisdiction over sidewalks.
Oh, no, but read the rest of the phrase. We can advise on sidewalks. I think it said even if they affect this.
If they affect it,
So
right.
we could advise on, but we have no jurisdiction to rule on, but we could give our advice concerning the Ferry Road sidewalk beyond.
Beyond, I see, got it.
300.
Yeah, okay. So what you're seeing in the first map that I handed you is kind of a condensing down to just the wraparound lots that we found that existed like this at the time the 1970 map was produced, and the town green being the other change. And the only other item, number 11, is that the 300-foot line actually follows Lime Street as it transitions into Boston Post Road and not Sill Lane.
Oh.
So you see it's kind of cut at a little bit of an angle. And that's an estimation to show that it's following Lime Street and then on to Boston Post Road. And the idea being that if this is what we think the clarification of the 1970 map is, this is what we would hand over now to the GIS people to provide an online GIS version of this district, of this map.
Yeah, the wraparound issue was awkward because on the original 1971 map, some of the wraparound lots, the wraparound portion was already shown as within district. Many of them were not. So the town attorney's opinion was that given the language of the ordinance, they all wrap around.
So I think one of the things that we should also consider is that this is a clarification of the 1970 map, such that whether or not the noted items should be conveyed to the property owners for these noted items, or do we just issue this, as an updated map?
Well, Demi and I talked briefly, and one thought is when the letters go out to anybody in the district, you have a slightly different letter that goes to
Or an addendum.
the folks.
Like you
Or an
could, like you
addendum.
could include this
Yeah.
map
Right.
with a little addendum for the properties that are affected by this.
Right.
Clarification.
Right.
I think that would be a very straightforward.
And
Some people may
I
not.
honestly don't think it affects any, I don't think that these are any areas that have buildings or structures on them.
Well,
But they could, I mean, in the future.
right. And the property owners of any wraparound lot would have already realized they're in the district because they have frontage on Lime Street already in the district. So it's just the extent of
That's true.
that wraparound.
Yeah.
So we're not, right.
I mean, for example, Spears Plumbing is a wraparound lot.
That's right.
They came to us for the
Yep.
windows issues. Okay.
Okay, good.
So-
Do we vote on accepting that this be submitted to GIS? Is that something we should do?
I don't know, do we need a formal vote? What do you think should be the next step?
I think accepting the clarifications might be appropriate.
Mhm.
So we have kind of an official,
Yep.
accepting the clarifications made by the town attorney. How would you?
I would say, I mean, he didn't make these, but I
Right.
would say that we vote to recognize the changes that, not changes.
Changes as
Recognize
of
the clarifications, which were pursuant to advice received from Attorney Michael Carey.
Okay, mhm.
You wanna make that-
We want to call them clarifications.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Any further discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Great.
Okay.
Do you have any brief, I am guessing, Martha, you haven't even had time to catch your breath with respect to the plaque program.
No, I haven't done it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I hate to say that. So I'll just go through a brief list of the C of A's that are still open and in process and all of that. So 38 Lime Street was renewed at the last meeting for a year. 97 Lime Street, there's an open C of A for a shed that needs to be renewed. It's a garden shed and like an 8x16 garden shed. And so we can deal with that today. They also have a new application. The Ferry Road Sidewalk C of A will also be renewed today. 56 Lime Street, I see they're still working on the by appointment only addition to their main sign. They're also still working on landscaping, and they have submitted a new application for a stamped concrete walkway, which is also on the agenda today. 21 Lime Street, Paul is here. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
We have C of A's for the HVAC system, the shed, which
Those are continued public
those
hearings.
are continued public hearings. We have a new one for the front steps, the gutters and driveway improvements, and Green Porch project, C of A, also needs to be renewed. So we have all that on the agenda. 70 Lime Street, that's the Mandel's, their windows. New windows were approved last month, and so that project is ongoing. 71 Lime Street, sent a letter about the fence extension. Haven't heard back.
2 letters.
2 letters. Yeah. 2 Sill Lane, again, 2 letters sent regarding the columns on the front entryway, still no response. 1 Boston Post Road, the gate has been installed across one area of the driveway that's being closed off, and I believe the driveway has been repaved.
And that's a question because I understand it was just a repair of it was not a change in the surface. It was the same asphalt surface.
Right.
But I don't think we have a form for that.
Right. No, we don't have a form for that as a like-for-like repair.
Yeah. So, maybe you could send one to Jim and just say, this is apparently like for like, but we just need a record of when changes were made.
Yeah.
Because occasionally questions come up about the date of approval.
Right, I'll do that. And then Spears Plumbing at 48-1 Lime Street, they're putting new windows in their building. 100 Lime Street, that's the Roger Torrey Peterson Estuary Center. They're still working on getting those signposts. And they also wanted to add side braces so they can put banners up. We're still dealing with that.
Right.
64 Lime Street, new window installation has been approved. And 84 Lime Street.
That was Monty, right? Charles and Adrena.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then 84 Lime Street, Lime Academy of Fine Arts, their new signs were approved. I think that's all that I have. And his historic plaque program, I've had to just...
Yeah. No, don't write this in the minutes, but holy cow. There have been years where, in the entire year, the commission dealt with 6 C of A.
We're at 24 per meeting.
Okay. Briefly, thank you, Martha. Dean, want to give chairs update? Chairs.
Well, just Paul's here, so it will be very quick.
Would it be okay if I close?
Yeah.
Easily distracted.
The other day, John and I did a sort of a little small sidewalk, more or less from my house, 21 across the street, Sacrestano, who are going to consider it, down to the church. And I just wanted to point out a few mechanical, very visible mechanical machinery that's been placed there over the last few years that we have never sort of flagged. One is Dan O'Connell's house. I think that's probably number 8, Lime Street. And that was put in probably about 5 or 6 years ago. And then there's the number 6, which was the former Brainerd house. And there's another one right along the side.
6 is the corner, I think.
It's important. So
it's a corner lot.
We thought we would try and write them those 2 places and others going. We only did that part, but there are many others of that. Sort of a friendly letter suggesting that we're just trying to be consistent with the things we're asking of the Historic District property owners, and hope they might consider some form of screening.
It's an initial approach to them, yes.
That's really my report.
Okay, great. Paul, how are you?
I'm well. How are you guys?
All right.
Good.
Yeah, we just had a big, kind of a nightmare weekend. We got 2 puppies we got them in April, and one of them has hydroencephalitis and needs to be put down. She's 13
Oh,
weeks
no.
old.
Oh, no.
So not only do we have a 3-night stay at Piper,
Oh,
but ultimately we have,
oh, that's
The
too bad.
emotional, oh my God.
yeah, you know,
Did you get the
we
same
barely got
breed?
to know her. And they were twins, you know, so I know you like that when the dogs match.
Okay, it was the same breed.
No, we didn't get schnauzers again. You can't get schnauzers except for through a breeder. We looked all over the country, and I hate to buy them from breeders. There's so many.
And
You know.
what breed did you get?
These are Parson Russell Terriers.
I'm so sorry.
It's so terrible. I mean, the poor girl's only 3.5 pounds.
Oh,
That's terrible.
Piper is so
Yeah, so everybody in the house is,
devastated.
yeah.
It's hard.
But as far as the improvements go,
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I suspect you guys found time to, you know, take a look at where we were proposing the condensers. I mean, if you want us to put a lattice around it, we have no problem with that.
We don't have a C of A for the condenser installation, do we?
No, there's
Right.
nothing yet.
Right, okay, right. These are all the other things, okay.
Condensers, I didn't see the location.
One of them we
hasn't
do
been-
on the porch, on the upper deck, I mean.
We did get the specifications, so we've got the dimensions where
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
were certainly.
there's, here, it's in here, yeah.
Photos that noted, but I didn't see the,
So these are the two that you sent me, two photos you sent regarding the HVAC.
Right, we're going to try to sneak it behind the bushes there. I'm not sure that's going to work.
This is on the porch side.
Well, there's going to be one on each side. But on the porch side, we're going to put it on the upper deck.
Let's talk about the other side first.
Right,
That's
okay.
what you introduced last week.
Right, we're trying to sneak them behind the holly bushes. You know, maybe we can trim them back and get it so that it's under there. Then it would be pretty much, you know, hidden. In the alternative, we could certainly, you know, put some lattice around it or something like that. But, you know, at present, that part of the house has no heating or air conditioning.
Yeah, we did look at that and thought it might work. Now, how close can these be to the house? Do they have to be set out from the house?
I don't think so. I mean, they just, all they need to be is, you know, like you probably need like some kind of a 90-degree fitting to attach it, you know, what comes down the house to attach it to the condenser.
Right.
So, I mean, we would trim them back or whatever. I mean, I'd like to keep it hidden like that, but, you know, if ultimately we can't, we're certainly willing to put some lattice fencing around it or something.
under the window, is that where you're thinking?
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure maybe you guys took your walk a little further and went to see the old Brainerd house. I mean, on the side of it, you know, the condensers they have to go like directly from where the ductless comes down the house. You know, now I would propose to paint the ductless unit that comes down the house the same color as the house, kind of make it disappear, but, you know, that's what we wanted to do because we don't want to see them either, but, you know, they're kind of a necessary evil.
Isn't that what Chad Pittman? It's the same thing, right? On the side of one Curdy.
Right, and so we need to do, we need to do that side, and then the other side, we've put new HVAC in the house pursuant to the addition we did years ago, and we get all the rooms, including the 2 first floor front rooms, but there was no way to get to the 2nd floor and 3rd floor of the house without doing something like this.
Did you look into, are there not purely internal units?
Not for
heating
ductless.
and air? No.
No, and trying to do a full interior build on a post and beam with plaster and lap, just not going to happen. I mean, we'd have to take down all the walls.
Right.
You know, I mean, I proposed to the installer that, you know, perhaps we could build chases, you know, because we have, since it's post and beam, every corner of the house has a beam that's been wrapped.
Right.
You know, we could do another chase. We don't have a problem with doing that, but he says you really can't do this internally.
Could you put it down on the bottom porch and towards the back?
On the other side, it would be on the deck. So you really wouldn't see it because we've got 42-inch railings, and this is 24 inches.
But it's going to be on the upper deck, right?
Yes. Yeah, because we're not doing the first.
It seems very visible.
What's that?
It seems like it.
It wouldn't be. I mean, you really don't see much beyond. I mean, we've got, you know,
Can it not be on a bracket in the back of the house?
On what?
Can it not be on a bracket in the back of the house? I've seen them do brackets.
Yeah, but it's not. We're not doing the back of the house. That's the problem. The condenser has to be where the ductless unit comes down.
Could it be sort of around the
Porch.
sort of behind the porch in where your basement doors?
Not really, because where we're down there, that's not the rooms that we need to do. Basically, on the second floor, it's a bathroom that's up way down on the right, if you're looking at it on the right side of the deck. And on the third floor, you're in the attic.
How would you propose to camouflage this unit being on the porch?
Well, it'll be on the deck. There's a handrail and
Sit on the
all
deck.
the way around. I really don't think one would see much.
So it depends on the location on the deck, and then the distance, the sight line along the street, whether or not you would see that, I would think. I mean, typically when you do this, like a screening for mechanical on a roof, you have to look at the position of the unit relative to whatever the screening element is. So if it's closer to it, it tends to be seen more. If you pull it back, it tends to be seen less. And then you have to think about the distance that you're viewing it from. If you're right in front of the house, you have that angle, but as you move away from the house, it's
Right.
really
I
shallow.
am sure there are some vistas that you would see it. But, you know, I mean, if you're walking along Lime Street, it's going to, like, maybe a portion of it will come in and out of view. You know, it's not going to be something that sticks out like a sore thumb. And again, you know, if you guys need me to, I'll screen it somehow. But
It just seems it's all the wonder. I mean, you've done beautiful work on the house. You know, it really has been an expensive project and everything. It seems to us, I think, that's a little bit of a, you know.
I mean, if I could do it and take apart the entire house and put in another propane system, I would think about it.
Could it go on the back, towards the back of the upstairs porch?
But you
Or it has to
can't
go
do
right
that.
on the front?
It has to go where you put units on the wall or on the floor, and the duct comes out and goes down the house, and there's the condenser has to be there. Now, the only other way to do it would be to try to do it by doing it internally, but my installer says they don't do that. They don't do it like that.
So this is not a refrigerant that's being piped to a unit that has a blower. This is actually the HVAC duct is exiting the house coming down to this unit?
Yes.
I see.
Yeah, just like on the old Brainerd house, where they have like 4 of them on that side of the house. Which, I mean, either you guys approved it or that's an unapproved installation.
It's completely unapproved.
Before you came in, we were talking about letters that need to go out.
Dan O'Connell has one too. Wasn't applied for. I mean, it would be nice to have them screen lattice or something.
Yeah, and I don't mind doing that. I just don't think you'll see it up on the deck, honestly. It's less than it's 2 feet high. I think it's 23.5 inches tall. I just don't think you'll see it.
Is that what it is, 23 and a half?
Yeah, and the railing is 42 inches high.
And it's like 50 inches or something.
It's not 50 inches, it's like 35 or 34 inches wide. So it's basically 2 by 3, maybe a little more than 3, but the 3 is the width. It's only a couple of feet high. And it probably needs to be on something. Now, I don't know if they can mount it directly on the porch.
I mean, boxing it in some way, you can probably...
Well, you can't really box it in. I mean,
Because
you could screen it somehow, but you can't box it because it needs to
air.
get fresh air, yeah. You know, and
You could lattice it, I mean, not that that's...
yeah, I think that might look ridiculously busy, though. I mean, we got the railing, you know, and we got the side of the house. It's near a window. You know, it's going to be to the left of that window.
How far, I'm switching back to the other side of the house now. How far back
That's going to be...
could it go? I mean, it depends on the interior.
Right. I mean, I suppose it could go back, maybe...
Yeah, right here. He says this is what you're saying cannot happen. It can't go back here. It has to
Right,
go.
it can't go back there.
Because the duct is here.
Right, just because of where the air conditioning units have to be. If we go to the way back, we're going to be air conditioning a bathroom and the eaves to our attic. And on the other side, I mean, we could conceivably go maybe to the other side of the of that center window on the third floor.
Right.
It's conceivable.
Would be helpful. Something that you might, I mean, in terms of screening, I mean, even just a little portion of your existing, instead of lattice, which would be busy, I think, but just a little, something like that out of...
Another section of
Of
that
this.
particular railing?
Of that particular railing might just look tidy and, I mean... But the middle would be better.
How does it sound if we, you know, I mean, I'm certainly willing to work with everybody. You know, maybe we could put it in and we could see what it looks like, and if you have a problem, we can, you know, work on solutions to screen it.
What about the middle? How do the others feel about if there was a possibility of moving it back off the front, in between those two?
In other words, in
You
the
just said.
in the
Right, because how close is...
I think the problem is that it needs to be to one side of that cluster of windows upstairs on the third floor.
How
So
far from the house is it going to be placed?
Probably
Right
no,
at the end.
I mean, it literally, the ducts run on the outside of the house against the house.
Right,
And it gets placed, you know, probably
6 inches.
within 6 inches.
okay.
How deep is it? So it's 2 by 3?
It's only about, it looks like maybe this deep. It's not
So
like
that's how far it would be sticking out from this wall.
Right. We're adding maybe an extra 6 inches. I don't exactly know. You know, try to find one of these guys to give you a drawing. You know,
Is the duct bank, does it come straight out to the unit? Or, I mean, how much run are you saying would we see coming down the side of the
it's
house?
going to be down to the unit. That's how
And
it
that's
works.
along the side of the house,
But
outside
that's-
of the house.
Yes.
So it's from the peak of in the attic, if you will?
Not
It'll
quite
come
that
right
high.
down here.
Right. Yes.
So right.
Yeah.
It'll go from the third floor to one side of the windows or the other. I mean, it's conceivable we could put it to the, you know, we could see if we try to put it to the right side of the windows on the third floor. We come down and we're at a double patio door there. So that's, you know, there's only so many places to put it.
Is the duct bank then boxed in so it becomes a...
No, it's just a duct. They leave it out there and you just paint it to match.
It looks like,
It's just a round
it
metal
looks
duct?
like a downspout or
It
something?
looks a little
Is
bit
that
like a
how-
downspout.
Downspout.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
like, what if here, like, you use something like that to almost make it look like a flower box?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a second screen.
Like, not lattice, because that would
Yeah,
make it
it's
look
just-
busy,
it would
but like something, architecture like that, so it looks like, almost like, you know, like a little flower box up against.
See, anything, where you're looking at it, anything to the left of that double door, which has the light above it,
Right.
is in the
You
bathroom.
wouldn't box it in
Right.
on top.
So it has to be to the left of that door, that double door.
I'm
Yeah, just like a.
You see the concern with visibility. It's on this edge. You can see.
Well, I have an idea, Tammy,
Well,
about
see,
the
like
planter.
taking something like this and building it, because you don't have to box it in, but
No
just
top.
building around with no top. So it looks like, almost like you have a flower box up there.
Yep.
But it's just to match this down here.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have
Good
any
idea.
objections to doing that. It's not like,
Can you do that? And then just leave it
Crazy
open and then
about
you have plenty of air?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you could even bring it out, so.
yeah, we could do
You
that.
could put another one on there.
But we're not going to do it out of wood. It's going to be out of AZAC. Because I'm not going to paint that
Well,
thing
you're not
every
gonna-
other year.
Right, but that's what,
That's your real-
a faux panel type thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how close I can do it, but I don't suppose that really matters. You know, I don't know, they might tell me I need to be 18 inches off it in order for it to draw enough air. I don't suppose that really matters.
Well,
We don't-
placement for sure, for your installer right now.
Yes.
We don't have, at this point, the C of A's for
For
this.
that, no.
You
So,
guys do have those.
HVAC?
Martha has those.
Yeah,
oh, you do?
Oh,
just need your signature on them, Paul.
Well, I'd like to suggest that pipe is actually an architectural detail or element at that point, because that's a very visible element in addition to the unit that we would.
To be boxed out.
Well,
That would look, I think boxing it out would look ridiculous. It would be a big square on the side of my house
How
as opposed
big
to a
is
round piece.
How big
Big
is
as
it?
the
It's about this, you know.
probably less visible to just be a painted downspout.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, I'll paint
That's
it
the
to
size of
match,
it.
you know.
It's the size of a downspout?
It's about that, yeah. But it's round, typically. Yeah, I'm happy to sign whatever you need me to sign.
Martha,
How many of
pass those down?
Are you,
And
That might, that
there
might.
are 2 units?
Yeah.
So this is
Okay,
one
okay,
on
it was right here.
side and then the one on the deck.
Paul, I have one other question, and maybe I missed it, but why would a ductless split system not work? In other words, where...
That's what this is.
But, no, it's got a ductless. In other words, where it's basically the refrigerant piping comes to the condenser unit, and then there is actually a unit, it's not a duct,
Oh, no, this is.
but it's a refrigerant pipe.
I mean, this is what
Because there's two
the name of this is called a Mitsubishi ductless split. That's what it is.
Then I
That's
don't-
exactly what the ones on the Brainerd house are.
But there's in that package, there's a ductless version and a duct version. And what you're describing is the duct version, because it has a 4-inch pipe that is a duct pipe. But there's also systems that basically have a refrigerant pipe that comes to the unit that allows much more
I feel
flexibility.
like I printed them all.
Placement.
Oh, no.
But you have a different
Yeah, but I don't-
indoor
I don't see the
pipe
form.
system. So I don't know.
Oh, that's what Martha said she had.
Yeah,
That's nothing that's been described to us by any of the 5 or 6 people who've come out to look at it.
And again, in that package, there's 2 types. There's a ductless version of that, and then a duct version. If you look on the second page, and that's what I was asking. Yeah, I think they're right here. So there's a non-ducted, a mixed, and then a ducted, right? For this unit. A non-ducted is basically just a refrigerant pipe that goes to a unit that's on the inside that has a fan in it, and then there's a cassette, if you will, that then blows the air.
Oh, those are things you see people have on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
And then there's a ducted version of this, which is I think what Paul's describing. So,
Yeah, well, this is literally the only thing that anybody has proposed.
right.
And I don't know, I mean, I don't really know what else to do. I can't put it in myself.
I understand.
Maybe you could ask some pointed questions about the non-ducted.
Well, I've even asked about putting, internalizing it and bringing it down. And, it's just not something, I mean, most of these guys don't appear to do much that they haven't always done. It's very hard to get any of these folks to think outside of the box.
Well, and the only reason why I bring that up is because a non-ducted system, typically you have more flexibility in the length of the pipe. So with a ducted system, Paul's describing, is the duct comes down and you can't really move that, right? It's where the duct comes out, the unit has to be there because they're forcing air through it. With a ductless system, split system, you have a refrigerant pipe, and so that unit has more flexibility in place.
And it goes from the unit into the house. And then
What they do is they basically have a blower at the location inside the house that refrigerant is, so it's really just a condenser on the exterior, not a condenser plus.
I've never seen one of those. And maybe that's because they're, less visible, but I mean, all up and down the street, you have these things, that's the way they build
We
them.
see them in commercial projects all the time. When we do our performing arts centers, the control rooms have the condenser unit, 100 feet away on the other side of the building, and then there's a unit on the inside that has a blower in it. So,
Okay.
so I'm just asking that.
According to the installer, the condenser needs to be on a direct run. I guess maybe for this type. I don't know anything about the other ones. I certainly don't want to be still talking about this in August, though, honestly. I mean, it's starting to get hot. We don't have any AC. All winter we didn't have heat for half the winter.
Oh dear.
Because of this new system, et cetera. So, I mean, that's the reason why we're going with the heat and AC for this. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's because it's both heat and AC. I don't know.
That could be true. I don't know. Yeah, could be true.
I mean, it should make it easier too, because each room has their own separate turn on and turn off. And when we used to have, our house always had steam. So 2 rooms in the house were hot as hell. And, the other 12 rooms were, you had to put on a thick sweater.
Yeah, old houses.
Yeah.
You might be right on that. The condensing units that I've seen, like I was describing, the ductless, I think I've really only seen them at a cooling capacity, so you might be.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I can ask that question, but I really would like some closure here so that we can get this begun.
Could I see the C of A mark? Just the sign.
I need to get that one.
Okay, so this doesn't say anything about locations or screening.
Oh, the puppy, yeah, I know. I mean, it's so terrible. Things barely had a chance to be alive. Although right before the meeting, I got a call that said that she ate this morning. I don't know. The problem is what they're suggesting is she has a buildup of fluid in her brain. They suggest that they could remove some of it, and then maybe as she gets older, put in shunts. But
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
Well, I hope to see you out walking.
Thanks.
I miss seeing you.
Thanks, Tammy.
Yeah, sorry. Have a great day.
Take care.
So what, shall we do? I mean, shall we, you don't want to be talking about it in August. We can't talk about it in August because there's not a meeting. So it has to be.
I don't even want to be talking about it in July.
Oh, right.
Because it's
Has to be
getting,
finalized.
Okay.
No.
I think with respect to the one on the south side, can we take them separately?
Well, I think probably because it's not specified.
It's not specified, so
Yeah.
we need to add conditions for each one, and the conditions differ. So let's start with that one.
So a motion to approve the one on the north side with the placement, hopefully between those two holly bushes where you just won't see it.
As far back
As
from
possible,
the
yeah.
street, and I would say with the understanding that if you can't save the holly bushes, that there be, that you replant them a little farther out.
Something evergreen, but you know that.
Or, if there's other screening you'd rather, we should come back and talk about what that screening would look like. I personally don't have a problem with the holly bushes if they hide it. I have a strong preference to move it back if that's at all possible.
Yeah, I will certainly see, because at least on the third floor of the north side of the building, there's only one window.
Right.
So, we probably could go to that side. As long as we can go further away from the front of the house.
Yeah.
Most likely, we just need to be able to catch the second floor as well. Again, if we go to the very end of the house, on the second floor, it's a bathroom. So,
Okay.
I need to heat and air condition the bedrooms, not the bathroom.
Right.
So.
Okay, so a motion to approve the HVAC on the north side placed as far back as possible.
With screening.
And-
With
and
screening?
With screening.
Well, on the north side, the screening is technically going to be the holly bushes.
Right.
Well, we'd say.
And if something happens,
I'm
then...
happy to put lattice or something like that.
Okay.
And more replace them with something else like the hollies. Yeah.
Right. I'll do what I can with that. I'm not, he might tell me that it needs to be, that the bushes need to be 1.5 feet off of it. I don't know,
Well, I'd say with existing or replacement holly, it's just if you want to do a fence, we should glance at it if the hollies can't be saved.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
we're going to try
on
and
the
save the holly.
conditions of screening by existing or replacement holly, or if fencing is necessary, on the condition that you come back and get us to nod our heads.
Okay, so that's
That's
the
not
motion.
technical. Nod our heads is not part of the motion, but
Okay, is there a second on that?
I second.
Russ, second.
I shouldn't if I'm chairing, so somebody should make the motion.
I did. I made the
Oh,
motion.
yeah.
Russ seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Great. Okay. So now the second part, what, as you can see, we're all sort of wrangling with it just because
I have no problem putting it, putting panels around it.
I mean, that's a good idea of Tammy's, making it look like a planter and just have it be open on the top, you get the air, but visually you're not looking at a piece of mechanical equipment up there.
Right.
I mean, if that's really and truly the only thing you can do, I
have real problems, Paul, with it being visible from the street, and I just look at this picture, you'd see it if it's placed in there.
Right, but you know what you're seeing, like when you look at that, you notice you don't see the window sills, which are about 2 feet up.
Right, but if it's out, it depends how far out it.
That's true, and I don't mind concealing it.
But you're saying it cannot go any further back on that porch?
No, there's no way. Just because there's 3 windows upstairs and the 3rd floor, so it has to go on one side or the other.
And you're
if
installing.
If it goes to the west, or to the east, excuse me, it's going to come down in our bathroom.
And again, where is the piping going from? Which room is the unit actually going into? Where is the cold air coming
Both
from?
on the 3rd floor and the 2nd floor.
So this floor.
That room.
So if the unit's here, then there'll be piping up the side also, and then underneath the window?
No, there won't be anything underneath the window.
Where will it go right in? Right about up there?
Yeah. I mean, you don't really see the top of the room. But
So you'll also have, that round drainage
the
pipe up there
We're sort of
too.
calling a downspout, but I know it's unfortunate because it's so beautiful.
Well, I've asked them to investigate putting them inside. It's very difficult to find somebody to even try to put a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah. No,
Did they ever think of putting it on the porch somehow and snaking it up through?
No. I mean, we don't need to go down any further than that. And the last thing we need to do is have it on the porch.
Then it could truly be like a full kind of planter type.
A planter also will help a little bit with noise. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of noise, but a screen around it would help with that.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
A 3-sided screen or a frontal screen?
I'd do it all the way around probably, just so you don't see the pipes going. I mean, I just have it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind screening it all the way around.
Yeah, I would a solid screen around, yeah. So there's no sight line from the street.
So there's no sight line of seeing the
street,
pipes
yeah.
coming in. Yeah.
And then how about as far as the downspout? What's the circumference of that? Is that like 5 inches or something?
It's like a downspout.
It's
Except
not any
round.
bigger?
It's probably like maybe like this.
Okay.
Maybe even smaller.
True, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's not necessarily a downspout. In other words, a downspout is always at the end of the gutter straight down.
Right.
So
This is drainage, yeah.
So the design of that pipe, where it comes out and where it connects to the unit, needs to be thought about as well. In other words, does it come straight out and come straight down? That reads like a downspout. But if it comes out and comes down, can it come over where it's not screened? So the design of that would be an issue.
What they've told me is that it needs to come out of the house and go straight down.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I'm also feeling a bit rushed with respect to not pressing about which is it that would end up the duct.
The question I have is whether a true ductless, where there's not a duct to the unit, but a split system that is completely ductless, where there's refrigerant piping coming to the unit. Those are a dime a dozen. They're out there on the market. Is that something that's an option?
Well, you could consider that. You could, maybe they're not, as you say, they're not, they only do what they like, what they want to do and do all the time.
Right, but we're using these guys. We have a green loan with this, with Eversource, et cetera, or whoever the group is that manages this. And I think to get somebody else, I mean, this is the way this guy proposes to do it. And I mean, I come to this board all the time for stuff. I'm not a scofflaw. I'm not.
I know.
But I'm not. I can't wait. I can't wait all summer to get air conditioning in that house. I mean, I don't want to have to build it and come in and ask for forgiveness. I'd rather get permission, but I can only do so much. I really need to get stuff going. It's kind of like the other application for the gutters. They were telling us we weren't going to get them till September, and that was fine with me. But they had an opening.
Yeah, we've had this situation repeatedly.
Well, is there, because we have other things and we're already falling behind on a very busy agenda. Is there a motion with respect to the south side?
I would say that if we were to make a motion, it would be that it is visibly screened and that the pipe reads as a downspout. It's a vertical pipe directly out the house and down to the unit, if everybody's comfortable with it.
Could your screening be duplicated as far as?
Yeah, we'll do that.
We could state that.
Yeah.
It
Right.
replicates
Say
the,
this again.
So it would be a
The same style.
that's
Same
like
style,
like a
sort of a box top,
panel,
right.
a three-sided
high enough to obstruct,
conceal,
conceal views from Lime Street.
A faux planter look.
right? And we would say
Box
three-sided,
Similar.
right?
Three-sided, yeah.
To match the
Yeah.
lower level trim.
Replicate the look
Yep.
of the lower.
And then as far as the downspout,
You got them on houses up and down Lime Street.
I know.
I mean, you cannot just exclusionarily tell me I can't have it outside. And everybody,
But if you can just try and, you understand.
right, and your installer knows that you're,
Yeah.
I try to do everything in accordance to
Yeah.
make
He's
the
just trying
house
to
look
keep-
better.
right.
You know,
Of
it's
course.
not like it's my intention to make it look bad. It's just, it's the nature of the beast, and I can't
Right.
afford to disassemble the entire front of the house to get air and heat back in it.
Yeah, okay. So I make that as a motion?
Okay, can I just read it back? Russ made a motion to screen with box panels similar to porch on three sides. Place unit as far back as possible.
And that will be an
Similar to
AZAC.
bottom port.
Mr. Sagristano, that will be an AZAC, the panel.
Similar to,
Yeah.
basically.
So, and that will be an AZAC.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, specify the material.
Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly not going to get something that I need to paint.
Wood appearance,
Okay.
wood appearance is what we kind of,
Yeah, AZAC is great.
Okay, is there a second for that?
I'll second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye, reluctant. I get it, Paul.
we understand.
Okay.
I know.
I need air
I was on
conditioning in
this
my
board,
house, too.
you know. I was on this board.
Okay, so we have these other things.
understand,
You
but
got the perfect ideal, and then you got reality.
Yeah.
We have the other,
Yes.
okay, so we have, we don't want to send them away again.
Well,
And then the other unit, did we?
yeah, but Paul's got other stuff.
Right, I got a bunch of stuff here. Most of the other stuff is less controversial.
Are the Haffertys
They're not here yet, but
not here yet? Okay.
Let's keep
the
going.
town,
Yeah, if you could, please, so I can.
okay?
Yeah, oh,
my dog.
definitely we're going to do that. I was just going to see if
Okay.
we needed to tell them, but if we can,
So
hopefully
gutters?
these go.
I think the other stuff will go much more quickly.
Gutters,
They're
okay?
up already. Have
They're
you
up.
noticed them? Are they objectionable? I doubt that.
No,
Just-
I looked for them, I couldn't even see them.
Yeah. They're not in the front of the house.
Yeah.
The guy says you don't really need them because you've got like 4 foot high, you're 4 feet
Well, I
high.
that was holding it, but I think you can take that.
I can read, I can find it, I can print it.
So do we
I mean, I
need-
just don't know why I didn't, but Martha can keep it. Or do you want to give it to me? Doug, keep. You can have
Do you need to make the motion on the other unit?
We did.
Let me get rid of
We
it.
made the motion for the north
Okay.
side and the,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got both.
Good.
Okay, the gutters.
Okay.
Gutters
so
are up.
Just so we can note it, what material, they're just vinyl or
The gutters, they're aluminum.
aluminum?
They're white.
White aluminum, okay.
They're regular gutters because getting the round gutters is 3 times as much. Aluminum has tripled in the last year and a half.
And these are on which sides?
There should be something, a picture in there that shows where
Yeah.
they are.
Yep. Anyway, so
Oh, I
I would
see.
move that we,
They're on the porch or over the porch under the deck. They're inside the courtyard, top and bottom.
Right.
They run alongside the south side of the house between our house and Boxwood, and then the other side
Okay.
of the.
I hadn't seen these diagrams, okay. There's, Deanie's made a motion to approve the gutters as shown on the attachment. Seconded, further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded, Russ?
I did.
Okay.
Okay,
all in
that's
favor?
gutters.
Okay, great.
Front
Okay.
steps.
Those were done a while ago.
Right.
This is just doing the paperwork, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I replaced all of the wooden parts with AZ, except iPay on the top, or ePay.
Yeah.
And what's ePay?
ePay is it's a wood that does not rot
Yeah.
for years and years and years. Although, really, chestnut tree really did a number on the
Okay.
I'll make the motion
Okay.
to,
It's not,
all of the chestnuts, the little leaf, not leaves, the little
Oh,
flowers
on the steps.
come down and
Okay.
get wet. And,
right. The steps are 100% completed.
Deb
Yeah.
motion to accept.
yeah, and they were done right. We took out the old set of steps that
Okay.
people had built over,
And the railing
and we
is,
built over twice.
and is the railing,
The railing is composite,
okay.
so technically it's wood, but it's like wood pole.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
That's
all
done.
right, so Deb has made a motion, I'll second.
Yep.
Okay,
And the shed, the wood shed, and then the cabinet for trash and recycling,
okay.
that's already,
The woodshed
Constructed.
is done, and didn't we agree?
We
to-
approved that
We
last.
approved it last time, but to be painted.
Yeah, I'll paint it to match the house.
Okay, so that's done. And then the last thing was, that's new, right, is the driveway.
Yes,
Okay.
we're proposing to, we've always had gravel, and we're just proposing to keep gravel, but we're gonna put ornamental iron on the side so
Like to
that
keep
we
it-
actually keep gravel.
right.
Just the,
Yeah.
So that's not,
One is gonna go to the,
sticks up, right?
it sticks up a little bit.
About an inch
stuff a
or
very
so,
small
right?
amount, yeah, yeah.
It's a bordering material.
Yeah, that's what we have.
That's what we have.
And we're talking, cobblestone at the apron.
Yeah.
Do you
This
have,
did not get concreted.
you don't have Belgian block right now, correct? Okay.
It helps to keep the gravel.
Yeah, yeah. I'll make the motion to,
I second.
Do
Okay.
we have we don't have any pictures of the blocks?
They're
gonna
just
be
Belgian
regular
blocks.
block,
and your gravel
cobblestone.
will be appropriate sized gravel color,
Yeah, and we're gonna do pieces of gravel
The
like.
Murphys have it.
trap rock, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not changing the shape of the drive? In other words, it's,
No, but the driveway has a space for two cars on one side, and then goes into the garages. So the gravel and the iron are going to go into there,
And this is
they're going to start here and come out.
well, I think,
just your main driveway, not the driveway on the north side.
This is the driveway on the south side.
Right, yeah.
Where the garages are,
Right,
which
the
is
main
now
driveway.
the main driveway.
Yeah.
And Deanie will put appropriate sized gravel color drive, right? No trap rock.
Still has a dumpster.
we need to see a
Appropriate
plan
Size.
we need to see a plan and footprint of the parking and drive if it's,
It's exactly what we've been doing with it for the last.
There's no,
2
is there no change then?
No, it's exactly what we've been doing with it. It's just going to have a border, and there's going to be more gravel.
There's no increasing parking or anything?
No, we can't really do more than two cars. There's just not enough room. It's basically a turnaround.
But is a turnaround new?
No, it's basically.
No, it's the same.
It's up against the bushes. It's up against the bushes at Boxwood.
And there's a circle.
Right. I mean, this whole thing was complicated because my wife wouldn't get rid of the magnolia. So we have to.
Gotcha. Work around the magnolia.
Yeah.
well, I don't think the commission has concern about the gravel, the
Belgian one.
the Belgian block,
Or the metal.
or the metal. But I think in terms of process, we need to have a plan of the drive that we're approving. it seems to me.
I probably won't get that plan until he's ready to start.
You need some kind of a permit from the town to do a driveway.
Right.
That's what I was told.
So should I
I had
retract?
to get a
This
permit.
is already a driveway, and I already have a permit. I just haven't put.
Yeah, I mean, I had a
gravel
driveway
over the
too, but
whole-
I had to change the driveway, and so therefore,
Yeah, I mean,
Get some
our
kind of
driveway
permit.
used to be on the north side of the house. When we did the addition, we put it on the south side of the
I
house.
got approval from the
Yeah.
historic district when I moved my drive from next to the house and the current cut that you see there. And I provided a map, a drawing showing the new drive, material and so forth. I mean, I think that's just part of the, just like building
Okay.
a drive and parking lot, I believe is part of what we need to
Yes.
review, so.
Should we request then a drawing?
I mean, that seems, I've been using the driveway. It's going to be
I understand.
exactly as it is. Exactly as it is. The driveway's been being used for years. It's
But
been
you're
there for
asking
10
us
years.
now to approve it as a committee?
I'm really just asking you to approve the cobblestone at the end, because the rest of it's existing except for the steel.
When was it
When was it
put in?
It was put in 2011. Except we weren't really using the garage because we had so much other work to do, so we kept parking on the north side.
House renovation packet that we have.
Right. Was it part of the house renovation
Yeah,
package?
yeah, we talked.
Basically, the thought, we're trying to figure out if we ever approved or saw something about the
I
drive.
mean, it's, the driveway's been approved. I don't know if I ever went to the historic commission on it, but, I've got the permit, should be in place. Tim wanted me to remove the concrete on the other side if I was gonna use this driveway. We discussed that, but, our apron on the north side adjoins Jeff Cooley's apron, and just abruptly cutting it would look ridiculous. So we plan to abandon the north side driveway, and we're gonna plow it up and put grass in.
How about if we consider a motion to approve it on condition that you submit before and after photos?
Sure, I can do that.
Yes.
And I can also,
Because, part of what we do, part of this is we're envisioning it as a record-keeping
Right.
function, so.
that's fine, that's
Yep.
fine. It's just that, I know you guys are aware, trying to get anything done right now.
Yep.
I know.
Is like, it's like getting your teeth pulled. I mean, you might as well, you call 14 people, 2 of them call you back, and, they're both out to next year. We've got
John,
one
should-
guy who I think might be able to start doing this work
okay.
in July. So we might actually have one more historic commission meeting before then.
So we have a motion from Deb, seconded by Russ, that we approve the driveway with the appropriate size and color of stone, and on the condition that you provide before and after photos.
A drawing. I think a drawing.
Drawing.
And sketch.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I'm gonna get a sketch. I could draw it the best I can,
Sure,
which is
that's fine.
not very good.
Just pace it off what the length is.
Yeah, it's 90 feet.
So
Because without that, you could, not that you
instead of
would,
appropriate.
but
say,
somebody
gravel
could
with-
do a drive in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
We have now
Specify
approved.
that it's
Right.
So,
Piece
I'm not
of
saying
gravel.
you would do that, but we.
No,
just need
we're
that
still
record.
planning on doing gravel, et cetera.
Belgian block at the end.
Again, you can't be exclusionary. There are people on the street with, with asphalt driveways.
Right.
That's not my plan.
No, we know, we're just
The only thing I
trying-
like about an asphalt driveway is I can plow it in the winter without shooting stones through the windows on my porch.
As these things come up, though, that's what we're trying to do, trying to work with
That's fine, I understand.
try and keep it.
Keep a record.
So could you read the motion one more time?
Okay, Deb made the motion to approve the driveway, seconded by Russ, contingent on pea stone with a Belgian block border,
It's not going to be a Belgian block border. It's
Belgian
gonna be
block
a-
apron.
Apron.
Yeah, right, sorry.
And I'm not sure I'll use pea stone. I might use half inch, just because the pea stone
It's
is
so small.
like,
No, it's so small.
even if you do it the right way with, with the rock and the dust and stuff,
We
it,
have some here.
1 year, pea stone's gone.
And on the condition that you provide a drawing and before and after photos.
Okay.
And a sketch.
And a sketch, yeah. Drawing.
All right. Has that been
Passes.
It's been seconded, motion
Seconded.
and seconded, so.
all right? A further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
All right, and just for informational purposes, we plan, when we get rid of that other driveway, we're going to put grass in there. I don't think that's the purview of this group, but we're going to extend the fence over to the brick wall where we meet Jeff Cooley's property.
Okay. So we would need to get a C of A.
Yeah, I know, and we'll do a drawing of that, because we're going to do gates. We need like a 7-foot or 8-foot gate, or we can't get anything into our backyard from the other side, and that is where our propane tank is. That's where our suit or septic, etc. So.
Okay, Paul, the house looks great. This is
Thank
a lot of stuff to work through, but
No, I know it's I probably should have gotten on this a little earlier, but all winter I was sidelined. I had a couple of surgeries and I was just miserable till April.
yeah.
In the end of April, I started feeling good again.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
All
Great,
right.
thanks, Paul.
Thank you, and I'll send in something on the
Drive.
drive, and I'll send it C of A on the
Really just part of business.
on the proposed gate and fence extension.
Okay.
What is my fee for this whole thing? I'll drop off and check. You can email me if you'd like.
It's the
Okay,
town hall.
thank you.
Yeah.
But so we're skipping over the Halfords? They're not on the
I think they're
phone?
not
Thank you
here.
all.
Thank you.
See you.
Okay. Yeah, Tim and
Tim and
sorry for the delay.
Tim?
Tim and Phil.
Tim and Phil, right.
Tim is next. Yeah.
See you later. Take care.
Hey, we only have 18 items on the agenda, which is deceptive because, like the last guy, there were 5 different separate issues.
Hopefully this is,
All
28.
hopefully this is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
I think last time we were here, I was left with some marching orders
Cop-
On the doors?
on the doors for the town hall.
Yes.
I have for you this morning, I've got a couple of copies. We can waltz through those if you want. Hopefully they're complete. Everybody happy? I apologize for the quality of
Keeping those
the
minutes.
picture, but it's town center quality, so.
Statue come with the door?
The statue does not. Nathan or whoever that is.
That's good.
But that's just outside of Faneuil Hall, and I thought maybe that would. But what I've included in this package is a copy of real quick copy of the proposal, and you can look that over. But I think the concerns were the material construction and what it was going to look like on the front of the town hall. So I've also included from the door schedule, they will match, they'll be identical, they'll look identical to what's there.
And what's the material?
So they won't have this.
No.
Yeah.
They'll look just like what we have now. It's a composite material. If the last page shows that there's a section through
It'll
the
look like
door on the last page, so you can see what the door is made of. There are 3 different finishes They'll either have a wood grain finish, a flush finish, or their standard, it can be a steel finish, and we don't want it. We want something that looks, when it's painted, like wood.
A wood grain?
Yeah, it's a wood grain finish. This picture actually has it, it just got washed out in the copying. And it's pretty subtle. And these match the same. The first one you see will be the front meeting house and the lower entry placement for those doors.
These two front doors, the two front
doors here.
Full glass.
Full glass.
Okay.
That's what we're showing. And it's exactly the same number of lights. And
Same downstairs.
Same downstairs. And
Why
then,
are you doing that versus the half glass, like what's currently there?
No, I have half glass doors too. Every door is a duplicate of what's there.
Oh, okay, which is half glass.
Sure that's...
If that's half glass, then that's what it's going to be.
Doesn't it go all the way down?
It goes all the way down.
She doesn't...
We really should know.
One on the stairwell, there's a wood
It is full glass.
Goes all the way down.
These ones along the front are single panel 12 light doors.
Okay.
So we'll be replacing those. And I showed. So I think that, along with the detail through the style, how they're assembled.
The raised panel, yeah.
Yep, they're the same panel, same everything. So I think that answers any questions you folks had.
I think that's what we had asked you to do.
That's correct.
Bring
Those are my
back the
marking
specs
orders
and so on, so.
Yep.
Are there any further questions from
I
anyone?
mean, we asked questions last time, and you answered them, so...
Yeah, well, you didn't have, you believed me when I left. You said trust but verify. So that's what that goes.
Do we need to make a motion? I'll make a motion to approve the town hall door submission.
I'll second.
With in conformity.
Completed as presented.
As presented.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Understanding that the look is to...
You won't notice they were changed, other than you won't be able to view it through them.
the only,
Okay.
I do want to make the note, because, I mean, you said that it is a wood-like finish. I don't know if that's noted in the document, so I think we should just say that it's a wood-like,
Yeah.
with the understanding that it's a wood-like appearance.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true. It refers to wood-like, but mostly about the...
Right, and I just wanted, if it's a durable, stable material, which is currently not, you can see what happens after 13 years.
These two, the bottom two, the three here.
Three on the other end.
And then the individual doors.
All of the doors, even the mechanical room door downstairs and the door on the other end.
Oh, were you doing that too? The mechanical one?
Yeah.
I thought not that it matters, but that you said you might be holding off on that.
Yeah, no, but I want to get rid of that.
Get it done.
because that
Yep.
glass,
So all the doors, all the exterior
Pretty
doors.
Door that comes,
Not these.
No,
not the assessor's door, right?
not the assessor's door, but we're doing the other door for the
access
second
is
floor.
the stairwell.
The fog door to the left-hand side when you walk in. That door is outcasted. If you walk in from the lower entry,
Yes.
as you're walking on the left-hand side, if you look at that door, you can see the glass is long since outcast.
Yeah, that was right out there.
One,
Right.
I just realized as I'm looking around, is the hardware, so we're seeing the door here, is
We're going to reuse as much of the hardware as we can.
Reusing existing
But
hardware, matching.
Matching, yeah. The only thing we may be considering, and I'm not considering in this bid, but I want to discuss with folks, is an ongoing security thing, and we'll talk about it when that occurs. And that'll probably, you won't even see anything. It'll be a fob or something.
So my is with matching the existing hardware, but reusing existing hardware or replacement
In kind.
in kind.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
these doors, you put the key in, you rotate it, and you have to turn a knob, which is, if you're carrying something, you have to
Right,
put it
right.
down on the ground.
We'll match it in
It's more about the appearance. than-
Right.
Right.
The aesthetic will.
The aesthetic, yeah.
Want to read that back?
Well, it may not be a smooth sentence, but I can try. Okay, Russ made a motion to approve, seconded by Deb, The doors will be completed as presented, will be a wood-like appearance of a durable and stable material. I have just all exteriors to myself. Will reuse hardware or replacement in kind.
Okay.
That could
That's
cover
been
it?
That's been seconded. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
That was easy.
Now, we also have the renewal, Martha,
Oh, yeah, the Ferry Road.
Oh, for the Ferry Road.
which
You mean-
requires nothing other than us voting to renew it, I mean,
Yeah.
for one-year terms.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's getting near an end.
Well, just to give you an update, we had a hearing, well, we didn't have a hearing because there were no protests for the trees that had been marked.
No protests.
No.
Oh, good.
Although after the fact, the Lawrences who bought the Nichols house asked questions, but they had been away, and so we had a public information in lieu of a hearing, just for anyone that was interested, that because we'd worked a lot with the individual abutters, but not people who walk around the circuit and so forth. So we had just an information meeting. We had probably a dozen people who showed up for that, and it was informational. There were no, I think everybody understood what was happening, and the $64 question was, would it be on the same side of the street, the north side, the sidewalk, or on the south side? And given all factors, we decided to retain it on the north side. Principally because if people are walking on the south side, they got to make a crossing at Lieutenant River Lane, which is more of a speedway right there. So there are 3 principal trees that need to come out, and 2 cherry trees that are past Lieutenant River Lane that are pretty awful looking. So that was why they were posted, and as I say, the abutters had been repeatedly discussed. We discussed it, so they understood, and so I think we're in a position now to go out after Labor Day to solicit bids, cross our fingers, and do the work maybe late September or October, when things are a little calmer. So that's the plan.
So we do need a motion to renew the C of A for the Ferry Road Sidewalk project for another year.
I'll make the motion.
Can I just ask a question? Tim, are they going to stay the same size? Are they?
The sidewalk will be 4 feet instead of 3 feet.
Oh, okay.
Actually, in Soundview, the standard is 5 feet, so we didn't want to get that big. But, you know, if you go to a doctor's office nowadays, you see these chairs, it looks like Lily Tomlin from Laughing in the Big Chair. You know, they have these big wide chairs. So we're at 4 feet.
Okay.
Was that part of the original?
I remember discussion about
Part of the original
Yeah.
application.
Yeah.
I think also that's somewhat dictated by state, right?
Yeah, the state.
Once it's
a couple
replaced, it
different
has to
standards.
come up to a standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so Deanie's made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor of renewing the C of A for the Ferry Road Sidewalk project?
Aye.
Aye. Gavel
Great.
down.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Tim, could you sign this, please?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Just tell them.
Down here under 13.
So. Okay.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's do that.
We're not
Yeah.
substituting.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, we don't have, did you say that the McShanes were going to be on the phone, or?
Thank you.
Anyway,
all.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes.
We'll skip over them?
They're not on the phone?
Doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
So we move to Pamela Hamilton.
Get it.
Next is, yes, Pamela.
Okay.
Good idea. Will do. All right. Thanks, Tim.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, good to see
I have Stone.
No, it's not an elegant presentation.
Slate.
Sorry. It's the real thing, and it's actually slate. Yeah. I asked, and I just wanted to give you these because Carolyn had these pictures of the houses that originally looked. Was toyed with in the 60s, unfortunately.
I probably have photos.
Between Audubon.
I'm your neighbor across the street. I'm Russ. Russ and Bill.
So nice to meet you.
105.
Oh, great. Did you run into my kids today and chit-chat with them?
Here's pictures, historic pictures.
The long white fence.
Oh, this is the house at back.
So we have that and the current look, which was altered in the 60s. So it's been a house that was perfectly symmetric. And then this really...
Is this the current?
Yeah. I actually turned pictures in. I hope you have them. But anyway, that's the current. So you can see they put on the shed roof and extended the center and just threw off the symmetry, including building this garage, which I'm not going to change. I just don't want it.
These are the homes in the 60s.
This is current, yeah. So these are the changes. I think the Hospics made them in the 60s. So, the original design was this very clean, symmetric house.
That was a garage.
Right in the front?
Yes.
That's so unusual.
It was
Yes.
William Rook was a lime impressionist. He's the one who had this built. And he was, it's a very sort of school of architecture that came really quickly, but the people who were in love with their cars built houses like this. It was called autocentric architecture.
So interesting.
It's really interesting.
That's fascinating.
I have never heard that.
Well, across the street,
Okay.
directly across from you, that was the carriage house.
Right.
Ron and Julie. So there's precedent for that.
Right. There was an auto dealership right next to that.
Oh, really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
there are pictures in
Really?
Lakeman's book.
Edward Rook was really eccentric. I actually met him when I was a boy. I remember going over with my aunt and visiting, and I don't have a clear memory, but this at the time really old guy,
Right.
kind of hunkered down in his studio room, which was upstairs.
Oh, interesting. I was wondering where his studio was.
Who's the architect?
The architect was actually a famous brother as a poet. I think his name was Williams. I can't remember. It might be in Carolyn's book.
And what was the date of the construction of this?
1920.
Wow.
It's 100.
Okay.
We were on the 100-year-old calendar. William Carlos. Okay. Poet is William Carlos Williams.
Oh.
He was his brother. So the architect was Edgar Williams, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, I read a bit about him, and he's pretty interesting too. Okay.
So
I wanted to restore a sense of the central axis, and which is tough because it's thrown off by the garage, and it's thrown off by this shed roof, which is a really unattractive way to go about things, but it's there, and I'm not going to tear off the whole front of the house. So I thought that what I would do is give the impression of So this is the center of the house. This used to be the garage. It's now a bay window. It's a very nice room. Front door, kitchen hall. So this section here, I thought if we defined it like the pergola did originally, which sort of, in a way, mimics the way the shed roof comes out now, but I don't want to add a pergola onto the shed roof. So I thought, how do I actually make it look like there's something, like pergola or trellis or lattice or something. But I've got the shed roof, so here's the roof continuing here, and we're just ignoring that part. So just on the facade of the house, this is not extended. It looks a little like a porch, but it's not. It's just, and I'll show you.
Interesting. It's applied.
Actually,
Almost.
here's a side view, because here's that shed roof. Here's the shed roof.
Okay.
So it comes out to the edge of the shed roof, and then runs along the, this is upside down, runs along the edge of it, and then this is how it returns to the house.
I gotcha.
So you have a sort of a sense of, once again, the central axis restored, but it's more decorative than functional.
Yeah, nice profile.
Yeah, it's a very nice profile, very simple.
And are you using AZEK or wood?
We're using wood, and that'll be flush board, just to give it it'll be the same color as the rest of the house, but just to distinguish it just a little bit further, as a separate entity.
So what is this material now? Is this all clapboard?
It's all wood, clapboard.
And is that what you're going to keep?
Oh, I'm sorry, that's clapboard in the back, that's shingle. And yes, keep all the old shingle, except in this section right here. But the old shingle's a little uneven and really charming, so I really wanted to keep it.
So the bay window is below this line, is that right? Because is there a roof?
So what's happening above this whole section from here to here is the shed roof.
Shed roof, I see.
Okay.
So the bay is below that part of the shed roof.
Oh, it's tucked back underneath it, yeah.
No, the shed roof runs to the top of the bay window.
Oh, I see.
Right. So this is all one wall now, and on top of it is the shed roof.
Yeah.
And so just for this section of the shed roof, we put...
Are you... is this new as well?
So that's...
Are you re-roofing the shed, or...?
No.
No.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we are, with the slate.
With slate, got it, yeah. Oh, that's great.
The whole thing is going to be re-roofed with slate.
Yeah, got it, yeah.
But this is just the appearance. So this is all one flat plane, and we wanted to sort of make it look as if this were a different section.
Okay. Are you doing the house in slate as well? The
entire house.
The entire house.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I think it will be.
Make sure I've got it. The shed is off to the right.
So, what they've done here, this might show it more clearly than this whole section from here to here now juts out. Originally it was flat. Right? But it now juts out, and that's the shed roof on top of it.
Okay, so that whole extent.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Not attractive, but,
it is.
we're working with what we have.
No, I think you're doing a wonderful plan of how to do that with that balustrade up there.
Pamela, is there any plans on this facade? In other words, since you're going to keep this?
Yeah, we're going to have the landscape.
Okay, how does this relate to that?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. You're going to hide it.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to try to landscape it because it's not an attractive roof line or building.
But it could be functional.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Garage. And, if I were doing a bigger project, I would tear it down in a heartbeat. But,
so which one shall we start with of our C of A's?
Let's start with the
shed roof. The shed roof that we're approving.
Do we have a...
Shed roof is, for the roof, you mean?
Or the roof itself?
No, what you call it, the balustrade, of course.
Old screens removed, lattice added, that's one.
Yes, that's the porch.
This is the porch?
Yeah.
Balustrade.
Okay, so this is it, okay.
So, no, this is Christine, this is the porch itself.
Okay.
Which
All right,
connects the garage to the house in that L.
Let's finish this balustrade.
It's the Balustrade Design as we're seeing it. In other words, that's
the driveway.
Yes, and I'll show you a better picture.
This is...
here. This is a close-up.
Roof.
I took sort of clues from all the different lattice that was originally on the house, because there's a variety, and they're these diamond pane windows. So I thought that this would be
Okay,
very
decorative
compatible
elements added to
with the
central access.
diamond windows.
Oh, right at the top up here.
Yeah, and the panels are there to sort of calm it down. I don't want the whole thing to be,
Right.
everything.
And the material on that
It's wood.
is wood.
Although Skip Room's doing the building, and he's saying that if we did the little panels, the cut panels in steel, it would be easier to maintain and last longer.
Really?
So I said I'll just throw that at you and see what you prefer. Either works. It's just the maintenance, and the steel will look exactly the same, he said, and I want it to. But if you prefer wood.
Steel can rust, too.
No, that's iron. I don't think steel can rust.
Steel? Is it stainless steel?
No, I don't know. It better not rust.
And stainless steel.
Unless it's well sealed up or well protected.
Yeah. You do not want that.
Yeah,
We don't want
right.
rot, and we don't want rust.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So it's a really good question. But I assumed that was iron that rusts.
Okay.
Feels lighter.
Any metal will rust under.
Under the right circumstances. Well, you know what? There'll be the right circumstances with this weather.
Okay.
I have no objection to steel if it's not going to rust. I mean, otherwise you just double check on that.
Yeah.
I will.
Otherwise you get, as you know, streaks down your house.
Which is, I absolutely don't want. So if the answer to that is yes, it will rust, then we'll do wood.
Okay.
Because
All right. Do we have a motion to approve that?
Can you read it, just to make sure?
Well, I'm just writing my own description. Decorative elements, balustrade added to edge of small shed roof, off centerpiece section of building.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
It's composed of wood or steel if the steel does not rust.
So it would be these cut panels that would be
But
steel.
it's
Everything
steel
else is wood.
on cut panels.
Yeah.
And are you thinking that, and it's not that we're talking color, but you're saying that this would be wood-like,
Can't talk.
wood-like in appearance? In other words, you're not thinking this, if it's steel,
No,
that
absolutely not.
it looks like steel.
This is going to be wood.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I would just say, in wood-like, or something to the effect that the material can be steel, but wood-like in appearance with the rest of the balustrade.
That's a good addition. Yeah.
It's going to be pretty.
And then I would note the slate roof, too. It's just...
That's another
Yeah.
area that we have.
Other issues.
But must be. Okay, do we have a motion for that? I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Further discussion on that issue? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay?
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
For those of you waiting, I apologize about the time. We had an earlier hearing that went on far longer than we expected. But we're doing our best.
Okay, so the next one I have here, which one would you like to do next?
Which, do roof? Should we just talk about the roof?
Okay, yep,
Should
here's
be
the roof.
fairly glad to see the sample.
Here's the sample of the slate.
Real
Thank
slate.
you for
Yeah.
providing.
We were talking to somebody not long ago who wanted to use fake slate.
I hear that that's being done.
Yeah.
And I confirmed this with Skip.
You can take this home with you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We might need this. If you notice this,
Yeah.
an empty spot.
That's the entire roof, the shed roof?
Yes,
Okay.
front and back, everything.
And then for the garage too, okay.
The written description is old asphalt roof to be replaced with slate on house, breezeway, and garage.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Motion to approve as presented. Okay? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Enthusiastic.
That one,
So bad.
treat.
It'll be pretty.
Oh,
It seems like it seemed to me like the kind of house that should be slate.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, somewhere I have a picture of
And then
the way the porch looks now, which is pretty upsetting. Might have given you a picture as well. I don't know where it's gone.
These are the,
Sort of broken screen.
Yeah.
Where is it?
I haven't.
I think I handed one in to you.
Okay. This is the element real quick.
That doesn't show it.
It doesn't really, no. Okay, we need to add to our. Okay, the next thing I have
did
here.
one fall on the floor, or did you pick that one up?
So weird, because I had it all here. I did. So the porch is now a tattered mess of screen and just some 2x4s. And I'd like to make it pretty. Yeah, I guess it was originally a screened-in porch, but I don't need that because we have the sunroom in the back with screen doors and screen windows. So I'd like to just keep it as a breezeway.
And this is
This is
matching the garage to
Yes,
the main house.
exactly.
Oh, over
Oh,
here.
But you don't see it in the
Oh, you see it here, right?
That's the picture.
That's it, okay. It's
Yeah.
a breezeway between the garage.
Great.
So you want the lattice,
So I want to take all the screens out, we don't need screens,
yeah.
Right.
and just put lattice like this in, sort of echoing the original,
Mm-hmm.
and keep it open.
Yep.
And there's actually a nice breeze, as it turns out, that does come through the breezeway. It's right now, it's a bluestone floor. I'm going to keep that. It's great old bluestone. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You have to come see it when it's finished.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good. For any time, because I think a work in progress is always really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is all
Still.
wood.
This is all wood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this will be on both sides, so the part that faces the driveway and the part that faces
Okay.
the Audubon Society.
Yeah.
And this will all be white wood,
Right, exactly.
Wait,
bluestone, so
Right.
I'd like to make the motion.
And with the slate roof right there on top. Yeah.
Okay, Deb makes a motion to, what I have here is replace screened-in breezeway between the house and garage with lattice as drawn,
with wood lattice.
with wood lattice.
Yeah.
As drawn, will retain existing bluestone floor. Okay,
A second.
Deb, motion, second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Yay.
Okay.
Thank you.
great. Okay,
So one more thing is the driveway. I think it's just one more thing.
and here you can see.
I know, so, I didn't have a bag.
It's not coffee.
Oh, okay.
Will this be chip seal?
This is rolled into asphalt, so I can't.
Chip seal,
rolled
yeah.
stone, Right. So these are
Nice.
really nice. I wanted it to look as much like earth as possible, like
right,
not too white,
right.
not too.
Mhm. It's a long
Not going to
Hooray.
be loose, it's beautiful.
Right, exactly. It'll be rolled in, it'll be a smooth surface,
Right.
and I'm not going to put rock on top of it, because
Okay.
you just plow that away in the winter
Right,
anyway.
right,
I learned that on Ferry Road.
yeah.
But,
I do that.
Do you have an apron what we did as actually the folks right before us talked about a cobblestone, just to keep that material from leaving at the edge.
But
Right.
this is chip seal, so it's
Oh, it's sealed?
Right.
Oh, I see.
but,
chip seal, it's called. We
So-
almost did it on ours, and I
Chip seal?
chip,
So it's secured and
so
something?
it's secure.
it's rolled into the
That's
asphalt.
nice.
So when she.
Oh, it's an asphalt. Oh.
It has the appearance, but it's actually, they I guess they
I didn't
place
understand that.
the material, and then this is placed in it so it stays. It's
Yeah.
not.
I have both, though. I have asphalt, then I have that sticky stuff, and then they put all the
Yeah, so
stone
you
down,
might
and
have
that gets
it-
pressed into it, but then they also put some stone over
Right.
that,
You
and
might
that's what
have
goes
that.
away.
Right, so that's what we're not gonna do, put the stone on top of it. So we'll just roll it in.
Right.
So
Just not
the way-
bother with that last,
Right, because it'll disappear over
It
the
will.
years.
Do that. What company?
Macnick? No, it's Brandon Novak, who now does apparently.
Oh, he's good.
You know,
They're
he's
great.
the guy for this now.
Yes.
Macnick did Ferry Road,
Yes.
but, okay.
The,
You're using all quality people,
they're
which
the
is
best,
so
really.
nice.
I agree.
Pamela and I were emailing, and I said, we don't like asphalt. We have to put up with it because some places have it and they're grandfathered in and they can
Right,
repair with
right,
the same,
right.
and Pamela sort of laughed and said, I would never do that. But you refer to asphalt, so is will it look like that stone?
Yes.
Enough of it's pressed in
Yes.
so that it's
It looks
not-
completely like this.
So you don't see
The
black?
asphalt's
you don't see, but my driveway's like this. You don't see black.
Got
It's
it.
just good, they
Okay.
put the black down first, and everyone thinks it's going to be horrible. And then they put this gooey stuff, I don't know what the material is.
Right.
And they put the stone down, and they roll over that, and it presses it in, so you don't see any black at all.
So the asphalt's just a foundation?
Right,
Yes.
exactly, to keep it stable.
And then there's
Yeah.
the metal
Little edge,
edging,
yeah.
yeah. So,
You're doing
Yes.
lynching.
Yes.
okay,
So it looks like a stone, essentially it looks like a stone.
Yeah, it looks very
driveway
natural.
Or a
It is
gravel
stone.
driveway, stone, yeah.
Yeah.
it just has a base.
It has a substrate, yeah.
I think these are good colors.
Okay, do you have a motion
Yeah,
for that?
Yep, those are beautiful colors.
Russ,
John?
make a motion.
Okay, I make a motion that we have a stone appearance driveway, and I'm not concerned about the substrate. No, but seriously, I think that it's, I'm trying to think about how to say it such that the asphalt is not present in the final appearance.
We'll just say it's not with an asphalt
Base.
base.
The asphalt base will not
On
be,
the- on the
will not
condition-
be
On the condition
visible.
that the black asphalt not be visible.
There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll second that.
Discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Here's a picture of a regular driveway up there, and then the chip seal, how it.
Got it, yeah.
Nice
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, one
appearance.
Yeah.
quick question. You're not changing the footprint of
Of the driveway?
the driveway. In other words, it's the same location?
Yeah, it's the
and-
exact same
right,
location.
right.
We're increasing the depth from the house a little bit, maybe. I'm not sure how much, to be honest. I think
Drawing or
I
something.
mean, the
Yeah.
wider part, the turnaround part.
the part that you see from the street, we're not widening. But the part that is the depth from the house and the garage towards the street,
It's going to be deeper.
yeah, it'll probably be
but-
6 feet
We're
deeper.
going to be consistent.
Right, so we,
So I need to make, can we amend
Yes.
something, that we receive a drawing?
Great.
And
I should have.
you requested before and after photos?
Yeah,
Great.
if we could.
A drawing of the proposed, the new,
Should have brought the plan, the
Right.
plot plan.
The-
Did I hand you in a plot plan?
this.
It might be on that.
Oh, if it's on that.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
we've altered that. In the plot. Going towards
Here.
Lime Street.
so that's existing?
So I think it came out sort of this far, we're going it this far.
Okay.
Okay. So we've seen the plan.
So
So
we're approving as presented.
as presented.
Yeah, just say, but I would have it note that we're approving
An extension.
an extension of the broader area near the house as shown on the plot plan.
I think they're calling it a motor court, which is a very
Central.
fancy word. court.
I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna call it a motor court, I'm gonna call it a central court. Entrance courtyard.
An electric motor court.
Is it okay if I don't say motor court?
Call it a motor court.
Central courtyard will be
And this
6 feet
is,
deeper than,
you've got paved drive and processed gravel drive. And it's
Well,
gonna be the
that's,
same.
yeah, that's probably at one point, but this is all going to be the same material, everything in here.
Okay.
I think originally I wasn't going to do the driveway itself, but I thought, while we're doing it, let's do it.
Yeah.
I was going to keep it dirt, but I thought,
And what's the technical name of that? I'm just curious, even for other reasons.
of the process?
Yeah, yeah.
It is chip seal.
It's called chip
That's
seal?
the
Yeah.
thing.
Is that a brand name?
It is.
Yeah, I've always called it rolled stone, but,
It's chip seal driveway or tar and chip driveway. I mean, it just depends, but it is definitely called chip seal. So if that's what you're using.
I'll confirm that term with Brandon.
Okay, do we have a motion to
I have
approve the
Russ
driveway
motion.
and motor court?
Russ motion, driveway will have a stone appearance, let's see, driveway, black asphalt will not be visible. Deanie seconds, and approve as presented, central courtyard will be 6 feet deeper than previous.
Well, and say the driveway and the central courtyard.
Well, the driveway isn't changing size, is it?
No,
Right.
but.
The surface material.
On the surface material.
Oh,
You just
okay,
refer
yeah.
to the driveway.
You could do like chip seal and like quotes or something for like brand name.
Yeah, I have
just
that.
asked him. Is our driveway called chip seal? I know he's busy this morning.
Do we have-
Okay,
do we have a
surface
second?
material, what?
Do we have a motion
Deanie seconds,
and Deanie seconds?
okay.
And all in favor?
Aye.
I wish everybody who came here had
I know,
a welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much for
It's,
your support.
it's gonna be.
great, it's gonna be so
stunning.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty.
thrilled.
Good. I'm so glad.
Completion?
Well, the house, yeah, by the end of the summer.
Really?
Yeah, certainly. I asked for June 15th, but that's not happening. So,
Great.
by the end of the summer.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. And so shall I get back to you about what Brandon calls it, if he calls it chip seal or if there's a different name?
Sure, why don't you just email so I can put it in
Okay,
Great.
I'll do that.
minutes, yeah.
I don't want to hold you up, I know you've got a lot on your agenda. But
Okay.
thanks for this late too, and thanks for all the support, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
The brand name is what you're going to let, or the,
Yeah.
Do you have a more definite ETA? Are you holding off with since it's not gonna be done?
Oh, coming here? Yes, I'm going back to Nantucket tomorrow. I've sold the house. It closes June 15th, and I'm moving back here permanently June 14th.
How nice.
14.
Thank you for sharing my happiness.
Oh, great.
We have lots of garden produce this year, so.
Oh, that's just so wonderful. And I don't want to hold you up, but are you letting the grass grow tall in the back?
rewilding,
My-
is what it's called.
Rewilding.
Rewilding.
That's what it's called.
My mower,
It's the new thing.
I figured I did.
Unintentional
Very much of a
rewilding?
trend
Yes.
in garden design.
I think I'm going to have some tall grass.
well, I wanted to, not now, but I would
Yeah.
like to talk to you about that, because I love the idea of having a more meadow.
Yes,
feel.
love that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to get to there from where we are.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we're going to get there. So I'd
I
love to
know
talk.
you'll get there.
Yeah, love to talk with you.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you
Thank
all
you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Pamela, do you have your stone and everything? Yeah, you have everything.
All right, sorry. Let's see,
Okay,
next
now
up
we have
is
Claudia Weicker.
Claudia.
Okay. That is here.
Good morning. Thanks for your
Thanks for your patience.
comments.
I know, we have
Busy month.
And not on topic, thank you for your comments on Friday at the ceremony. They're very well taken. You interwove things very nicely.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. when Carolyn called me about that, I thought, gosh, how do you make this work? So, but, you know, I was so impressed that the children who were there really understood and captured what it was all about. So, so good.
Well,
good.
red hand.
Thank you. Chris Caulfield would be here, but he is away this week. And so I am a poor substitute to explain this. What we are proposing to do is to replace some really ugly windows. To be honest, they really bothered me for a long time. And of course, we just happened to pick a time when it takes 6 to 9 months to order windows. So we're looking at a project that won't be done for a year. But the impetus was to convert this window at the very rear of the house. This is about I think about a 1960s, early 70s addition.
You don't see it.
And
You really don't.
At the very rear of our house.
It's not on the back, but it's on the...
This faces south.
South face.
This faces south. And this was a family room which we converted to a master bedroom area. And what we would like to do is to change this window out and to put in a bay window, which will give us a little bit more floor area, which for reasons for Lowell's accessibility needs, we need. And the bay will look like this. It'll be, the center window is fixed, and the side windows will be 6/9 true divided lights. And the little roof overhang will be done in shingle, just like wood shingle, just like the existing roof on the roof on the house. So, and while we are doing it, we also want to replace the other casement windows that we have, and there are 4 of them, one of which is in the kitchen.
This is the kitchen.
And this is one, excuse me, there are 2 windows in the kitchen, and they'll be replaced in kind, with divided lights. And the other 2, which one is a hallway and the other is a bathroom, will also be done in divided lights.
That will be a
to
big
the
improvement.
extent we can if we can put in a double hung, we will in this area, but not in the kitchen. Kitchen will keep the casement windows with divided lights, so we're just replacing those existing windows.
Kitchen windows.
Okay.
That come out onto the patio that can look that way, not the ones looking north.
That's right. And this is the principal one. One faces north. One does face the fence in
Hinckley's.
No.
Oh no, on the other side.
On the other side, Eve Todd.
Just done.
It's Gilbert's.
So when you said to the extent you can,
If we can suitably, I mean, I took the measurements. The thought is to replace as much as we can with double hung windows, but these are kind of an odd shape, and I think it's not going to work. I think we're likely to replace them with the same size casements, but have them have the divided lights.
Which would be a big improvement.
Which would make the rear of the house uniform.
It would. It would unify that, and which is a part of the house you use too. That's your patio, and that's your garden.
That's the terrace. So we'll replace these with this type of divided light.
So what would the material be?
Wood.
Okay.
We're going to use Marvin windows.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think Marvin has the 3/8-inch mullions,
Yes, in fact,
which is preferable.
the 3/8-inch mullions. Right, exactly. So that's what the intent is to go ahead and to replace them with all Marvins and to finally get rid of those ugly windows. So.
And the bay, the below the bay, you're building a bay out, so
We're building the bay out. There is room, there's plenty of room between us and Hinckley's property to do that. The bay is going to come out just about 2.5 feet, I
And the
think.
material below the window.
It's all going to be siding, wood siding.
Exactly. Right.
Exactly. It's going to be exactly as it is now. And then, as I say, what little overhang there will be for the roof will be done in the same wood shingle.
To match the house.
To match the house, yeah.
So.
Sounds perfect.
Okay.
Good.
So the motion is?
Yes, the motion. Made by John?
Sure. Change. So you can copy the number of windows, all in wood Marvin windows with 3/8-inch mullions. The bay window to be completed, wood shingling below, roofing to match the house roofing above. And we want, I guess we should.
Say something general
I'm not
about
sure.
the other
I'm not sure to say these should be in accordance with the existing look, with the exception that it's permissible to change to double hung windows if that is feasible.
And I think.
Well, we don't want it to be
Actually,
exactly.
you know what, I actually think John will go ahead and replace all of the casements with casement, but they will have the divided lights.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We'll replace remaining
I mean, that's the main thing.
And the opening.
casements with divided light.
I was going to say the openings aren't changing, right?
That's right. The size is not changing.
Light. Opening size not change. Okay?
I'll second.
Deb is seconding. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, okay.
Good luck getting through the rest of the morning.
Get your windows.
Till I call in for lunch.
Start in September.
You know, this is really looking like when they said that the windows won't be in until December, I said, you know, there's no way Lowell's moving upstairs to have them put in.
Right.
So we're talking about this time next year. Anyway, thank you all.
Thank you.
It's nice to
All right, thank you.
How are you?
Getting right through it. Okay.
We're making up time, though.
Well, we're
Now we're at
25 minutes behind.
I mean, this is just pages and pages.
Hi, Bob.
Martha may do it more concisely.
Good afternoon, yes?
That's right. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Bob McCracken from the Congregational Church.
Wonderful.
And the reason for being here, which I presume you already know, is it's come time to replace the roof on the meeting house of the church.
Yes.
It's 112 years old. It was the original roof. It was finished in 1910.
This is all yours.
Currently slate.
Currently stone slate, yeah.
So it is true, slate.
It will. Actually, the slate itself isn't so bad. It's the nails. They didn't have stainless steel nails back then. In fact, a lot of the roofs at that particular time were put in with copper nails. And in this environment, they quickly deteriorated, and so a lot of the slate roofs went by the wayside. But there was galvanized back then, so they used galvanized on this roof, which is one of the reasons it lasted as long as it did. But now it's deteriorating rapidly. I have a couple of
This is all, this is what's being done.
exhibits I can take you through.
You have a color printer.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. It's not sometimes that accurate, but anyway, the first page, just for your information, which is page number 3, because I extracted this, by the way, from the bigger presentation, shows you the roof area that we're planning to replace.
I thought from the emails that I got that it was the roof on this back property. So it is the actual church.
That roof has been replaced 5 years ago, and that's where the current PV panel.
Okay, so it's the current church. Okay.
The materials I saw, this was the roof. What Mark was saying. Yeah.
Right.
So that's the roof we're talking about. The next page, number 5.
What do you have on roofing for the attached buildings?
They're asphalt.
Asphalt shingle.
Yeah. They're definitely asphalt. On the right-hand building, which is the fellowship hall, we installed photovoltaic panels in 2015. And so this picture was taken way before that, so it doesn't show the PV panels. So they are asphalt, and we replaced it just before the PV panel, so that it would last as long as the PV panel. And we replaced the roof on the middle building, the middle long building, at the same time, which matches.
That was 2015.
2015, right. You can tell how long ago this picture was taken. Those two trees on Lime Street are huge.
They really are.
This is a really historic picture.
Yeah.
And it has to be after 94 because the right-hand building, which is the parish house, was completed in 1994, but the garden hasn't been done yet. So I'm pretty confident that this picture was taken in 1994. So that shows you the roof. Page number 5 shows you the existing close-up of the existing roof and how it's deteriorating. And some of those replacement slates at the upper right-hand corner are result of having to repair the roof almost annually now because they keep falling off. So the question, first I go over what I said earlier. The existing roof is 112 years old. The nails are gone. We have to fix it up every year. And the roof has leaked, especially last summer during tropical storms. And we're very concerned about it because if you remember the interior of the meeting house, it has that
beautiful
wonderful dome.
Yeah.
And that is so precious that to go up, to damage that and get up there and repair it would be...
And all the exquisite painting around it would be very...
The gold leaf.
Very difficult.
So we're very concerned, so we need to do it this year.
Yeah.
So then, go ahead. Sorry, John.
Are you then, because of the leaks, replacing all is there stuff under the slate, plywood, or? There is, and I'll describe that to you. When this building was built in 1910, it was built never, ever to come down again. Right. The roof trusses under that entire roof are 6-inch I-beams. They're steel I-beams. And the whole truss, the solid truss, steel I-beams and then a steel plate in the middle. On top of that is, we think it's cedar, 2-inch thick cedar planking on top of that. So the structure is just incredible.
what the roof replacement will involve then is to, for weatherproofing, put plywood sheathing on top of that, and then water and ice.
But you're keeping the 2-inch wood.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, that's part of the structure. Yeah. So the structure itself is very good. We're going to definitely waterproof it before we put on the new shingles.
And then the dome is a plaster on, is it a metal lath?
I don't know what the lath, it almost has to be.
Yeah, it's probably like
because of the shape of it.
Yeah.
But it's plaster.
Yeah.
So once water would get into there.
That would really be tragedy to compromise.
Right. So then the next question is, given that this is now 2022 and not 1910, what material do we use? And there were two options. One is to replace it in kind with stone slate, and the other is newer technology, artificial slate. And we have come down on, for us, we think the best decision, for a couple of reasons, is to use the artificial slate. Number one, it does cost less. Now, that's not the primary reason, however. But our contractor, Valley Restoration, is telling us that the ability to get slate either installed or maintained in the future is going to be very difficult. He even today has trouble finding qualified slate installers. And so almost nobody is using slate replacement these days. They're all mostly going to the artificial.
And almost, you probably
Well, the person that
Pamela.
just left is doing
Pamela.
it.
No, well, you can do that, and we could do it.
She doesn't know about this.
There's no question.
Well, yeah, but she also probably
did she
ordered
find
her
it
slate.
in
She's been working on that for
Yeah,
2
she wants
years,
a slate,
so
yeah.
she's had time to order it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and we could do it. There's no question. But number one, the technology is new. The technology wasn't around in 1910,
Right.
and we're really concerned about the ability to maintain it in the future. So we have made the decision to use an artificial, and I brought a sample of it.
Great.
Oh, good.
For you here, which is, you'll see that it's a lot darker than that picture looked that I just showed you. But that slate has had 112 years of weather.
What is the actual material?
Well, it's a composite, and I'm not I'm trying to look on the back here. State-of-the-art polymer chemistry.
Polymer.
So you know, the person who's doing the slate roof
Right.
is R.A. Parody
Oh, I know Parody. They're a good.
in East Haddam.
Yeah, they're a good roof. R.A. Parody did one of the two buildings next to the church when we put in the photovoltaic installation. He's a very good roofer. The reason we're using Valley Restoration, we've used them before, is because they are specialists in historic preservation. That is their specialty. In fact, 12 years ago, we had them totally renovate the entire steeple with repairs and replacing the 6 decorative urns at the top and putting a new state-of-the-art coating on it. So they are definitely specialists in historic preservation.
Do you mind if I touch this?
Sure. In fact, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's lighter than.
It's going to be lighter than slate.
So your load on your roof.
Yeah, we weren't particularly concerned about the load, as I mentioned, but it is lighter.
Yeah.
One of the other ecological features of this material is that it's made out of recycled material, and it is itself recyclable. So it's as environmentally friendly as you can get.
So this is probably a 50-year.
A composition.
Is that about right? I think
As far as we know, because the technology has only been around about 50 years. So.
Because I just looked it up and it said their warranty for commercial is 50 years.
Right. That's what.
50-year shingle.
Yeah, and that's what our contractor is telling us, 50 years. Now, I have to say some of that's conjecture because they haven't been able to test it for 50 years yet.
Can I ask you, are there solar panels on? Because it looks like there's a solar panel.
No.
Oh.
That,
Will
They're on
solar
the rear,
panels go
they're on the
on?
other building.
they're on the other building. What you're seeing through
Oh, okay,
is
okay,
the parish house building.
okay.
So, because of the angle of the camera.
There's no plans for solar?
No, there is not. No, we thought about it, and a lot of the folks in the congregation asked us about that. It turns out that the solar panel installation that we have on the parish house now generates more than we can use. So we're selling the rest back to Eversource.
I mean,
If
it's
we were to
different.
put new solar panels on this meeting house, we would simply be constructing a generating station for Eversource. We'd give it all back. So there was no reason for us to do that.
Rob, can you match the dimensional aspect of the current roof?
Yes, I think it's gonna be this width here, which is it's very close to the width that you see on the...
So both the...
I don't have the exact measurement.
What do they call it? The exposure and the exposure and width. So dimensionally, it kind of is close to what's there.
It is, yes. It's very close.
Yeah.
It's very close. And as I say, I don't have the half-inch measurement with me, but it's very close.
Yeah, it's not exact.
Yeah.
It's certainly not exact.
But I was wondering if they have different exposures or different ways to do that. I noticed different dimensions on the back.
Well, he's gonna match it. The shingle is this long. So the overlap here is
I see.
100%. The shingle goes all the way
Is that
back,
whole piece?
back to here.
I see.
Yeah. So he can arrange that so that it matches, and he will match the courses on the existing roof. The page 12 talks about some of the benefits we've already talked about. The other interesting thing about it is, as is true with stone, it is not flammable. It'll melt, but it won't burn.
I would think that would be very hot also. I would think that, I've sat on benches that are of this material and it really absorbs the heat.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot because of the dark color.
Well, the material too, it's not a natural.
Well, yeah, but if you were to sit on a thin slate bench, it's done for a while, it would be pretty hot. I don't have the exact difference in temperature, but something we're not too concerned about because the underspace eaves of the meeting house is well ventilated. The steeple is well open and the vents on the other end, so there's continuous airflow through that area underneath the roof. So page 13 shows you the installed section. The rest of the pictures, these are supplied by our architect, Russell Learned, with Centerbrook Architects. And he has done a number of these roofs, and these are pictures of the actual installation.
Now, this looks a lot lighter to me, this roof color, compared to page 13.
Well,
I think it's
we're not saying that page 15 is the evergreen color.
There's different sample colors.
It said evergreen on top.
Oh, it does say evergreen. Yeah.
Oh, this is all the color.
And there's a different width.
And so this is the one that, because it has a slight green tint, is closest to the existing slate color that we have.
Yeah.
But as you can see on page 5, the existing roof is very, very light.
Yeah.
So it depends on, number one, how long that roof has been there, number two, on what angle that the sun is at.
Is that what gives it, is it just, it's just bleached by the sun? Is that what?
Oh, yeah, the sun and the weather, yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Big change from the original, from these other ones that have been, for the ones you've used to repair.
Right,
Yeah.
right, that shows you.
Time.
Material bleach.
Not significantly, they tell me. No. I think better,
Over time, does it change color? Right.
the one on, the picture on page 14 seems to me to be as equivalent as we're gonna get. Because it is the slate evergreen, and it looks a lot lighter than this.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So once you get it up there and get the sun on it, it's gonna be very, very close to what we have. And then the last page, Russell only included, it's not the Da Vinci Evergreen, but he included that because that was a project of Centerbrook Architects. So that is what we're proposing to accomplish this summer.
Right. Is there a motion?
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, you gotta do it.
Well, we think, number one, we have to do it.
I'm glad you're not doing, for that building. I'm glad you're finding something that looks like slate rather than.
Well, that was our objective. Yeah. We wanted to make sure it looked like slate.
I'm very surprised that or if we were talking about the actual Meeting House Church, correct?
Right.
I'm very surprised that you're using a resin material. I'm surprised for the historical content and the focal point of that building on the street that anything else than slate would be considered, especially because this is a 50-year material.
Right.
And yet the slate is over 100, and the factor of the cost, $100,000, you're going to be replacing it in 50 years again anyways.
That's a good point.
I'm I really think it's such a beautiful focal point. I'm really surprised that your parishioners would consider anything else than the original stone natural slate.
Well,
and I know it's hard to get. We hear that all the time. Pretty soon it's not going to be a historic district because, no one wants to wait. The prices, it's like we're almost like the zoning board of appeals, all these hardships, and it's like we're not going to have a historic district. Everybody's going to use plastic and resin and that kind of thing. I'm just really concerned because I feel like that's such a beautiful building that I just don't understand why you wouldn't really do it justice to the building itself.
Well,
that's my personal opinion.
Sure, and I understand it, and we've had that discussion thoroughly. Where we came down was that the appearance of the new material is so close to the appearance of what's there now and what would be there with stone slate, that the aesthetics of the building haven't changed. I don't think when anybody drives by the church, they're going to say, oh, that's not historic, it's plastic, because you can't tell the difference.
But that's what we have to, the things that we try and adhere to keep it so it is natural. We do that, all over. We're trying to keep wood and stone to try and keep it natural. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be here, right?
Well, I think I've said what I'm going to say, that we don't think it is compromising the historic aesthetics of the church to use the composite, and the considerations on the other side of being able to maintain it in the future were reasonably compelling for us, because we really don't think it's going to look any different.
It won't bleach.
How about their performance?
But how will it wear compared to slate over time? Will this perform as well as slate over that 50-year period, and then the slate will perform for another 50 years, right? So I guess, and you make a great point for the price differential on such a historically significant building with a material that's not a natural material. and the performance of it is not as proven as slate, right?
That's right.
It's
It
new.
can't be. It's
right.
about 40 or 50.
I'm not saying that it's not going to last 50 years, but you can't point to a roof that's been around for 50 years of this material.
Right.
That's right.
And I know on, major buildings like that, that's an important factor. So, I don't disagree with some of the things you're saying.
It would be a restoration, but I really was under the impression on the paperwork that I received that it was on this back building. So when I realized that it's on the actual meeting house, I'm just really surprised that, that you would consider something else.
Well, I understand that you're surprised, but we came down on the other side because we don't think it compromises the historic appearance of the church. And we had this major discussion because we were coming very close. If other people had prevailed, we would be coming here asking you to put photovoltaic cells on that roof, because some of the progressive folks in our church said, so what if you're giving it back to Eversource? It's still green energy. And we said, absolutely not. That would definitely compromise the appearance of the church. And so that prevailed. And so we've been through that.
It's hard.
Discussion.
Our task, as Deb is pointing out, it's hard because we're being constantly presented with these, the composite and the fencing and we're trying to retain the integrity of this understanding that we have a lot of new technology and new materials available. And so it is a balance. It's a challenge.
Yeah, we understand.
I take your point, Deb, that on something so beautiful,
it's the focal point. Really, it is.
It is the centerpiece of all time. I don't think anyone would dispute that.
Is appearance the only, I think the question that I have in my mind, is appearance the only aspect of the material that makes it historic? Or is it the actual historic material that's part of what makes...
Right.
We've had this battle with wood structures, and some people come in and they want to replace wood for wood. And other people say, I just can't be painting this every 6 years or 8 years. And so we have moved towards accepting AZEK, which looks like wood.
Looks exactly like wood, yeah.
But it's not. It's not a historic, right.
But
I'm right there with you, Dan.
I get it, Deb's concern. I guess I come down on the side of, if you can capture, I would feel differently, I believe, if this were a little covering for a doorway entrance.
Exactly.
You could, people walking up really say, oh, look, that's not slate. If you get right up to it, you may be able to tell. But
I don't think you're going to be able to tell. We try to capture it in some of these pictures.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're going to be able to tell.
It's still, it's fake. I can't. I feel like there's so much, there's such loss of so much innocence and authenticity today, and I just feel like that's such a special building. If it was the back building, fine. The other woman that we had in here, you could just tell she loves her property. You want to do the right thing. That's my personal opinion.
And other people in town may share that.
Right, exactly.
And I think that's something that we have to think about. And it's not, this is an important building.
Right.
So
because we also do hear, how did the historic district let that happen? We hear that
it all the time.
And,
We're just trying to compromise and have people move forward with their properties.
they make sure that their properties, I mean, they demolish things all over the place, but yet they really make sure that it's original, natural, that's what it is.
In the historic,
In their historic district.
Over there, they do. Nantucket
Yeah.
too.
I mean, we're not Nantucket and we're not the Hamptons,
No, we're
but
not.
yet, you know,
We're not.
we really are trying to, you know, preserve it. And like I said, that's such a special focal point, and it's a beautiful, it's the most photographed, you know, piece on this, in this area.
It is, right.
We need to move on. It's just an interesting footnote. You know, the state statutes have made some accommodations to the times. If you did come in with a proposal for a solar roof, the statutes make it very difficult for us to deny it. I mean,
I'm sure.
They basically create a bias or a presumption in favor of, even in a historic district. So anyway, well,
We should be happy that we're not being proposed, that we're not being proposed.
yeah, I mean, if we send it back, maybe it comes back with a solar panel proposal instead of...
Solar on slate. Solar on slate.
I got a couple of comments. One is that one of the major reasons that we decided not to put PV panels on that roof is because of the historic aesthetics.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And so we're with you.
Yeah, I know.
We're with you. My second comment is when you mentioned, how could the historic district let that happen? My response to you is, let what happen? It looks the same.
No, I'm saying.
What happened?
We hear that for other projects and other things that we didn't catch, or that were done without people without coming to us.
And what makes this difficult for me is the decision is I hear that, and at the same time I look at the material that you proposed, and that's an excellent. If you're gonna replicate slate, that's a great. So the effort and the architects that have worked to put this together for you, it's compelling.
Centerbrook has proposed it.
Yeah.
Centerbrook uses it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Probably
it's a struggle. Yeah.
We do need to move on. We have other things to discuss.
Right.
Maybe we end up with a split vote, but let's see. So the motion is to approve a replacement
John
roof.
is making this.
A replacement roof for the meeting house of the First Congregational Church with Da Vinci synthetic slate evergreen tiles in accordance with the materials presented. Does that capture?
What happens in the case of a split vote, John, before we do this?
Well, if there's
not another member here.
If we have four people, we have a quorum, one person could dissent, and the motion would carry. So, that's my motion.
To approve the roof of the meeting house using evergreen.
Replacement roof.
Yeah, replacement roof.
I think Da Vinci was the name of that.
Yeah, no, I have it written.
Yeah.
It was using evergreen in accordance with the materials as presented.
Right. With something about matching dimensionality or.
Yep, you can match the course's dimensionality to the extent, to as close as we can.
To the extent feasible.
Right.
It's a good addition. I accept that. Is there a second?
It's very hard.
If there's no second, we can't proceed.
Yeah. Well, I'll second it. I'll second. I mean, we've come a long way with the church. We've done this. I've been on with the solar panels and the signs, and you know, I mean, the church is a centerpiece of this entire community, and I think that you do take great care with what you do. It's a struggle, as we all know, because, but I think, you know, my feeling is you're making the decisions with those considerations in mind.
I think we are trying to get that across.
Yeah. And there's potential damage if, in other words, there would be a delay in getting the slate. Did I hear that?
Yeah, at least a year.
A year. And the roof is leaking now, or?
Well, it leaks periodically.
Periodically.
Yeah.
Okay, the motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I'll go with an aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay.
One opposed?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
I hope you understand that this was a tough decision for us too.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, no.
if anybody is as concerned as you are, or more so, about the historic building, we are. So we spent a lot of time going over this.
Yeah, I mean, we're just being presented with it every meeting because of all of the, I mean, you're an existing, obviously you've been there forever, but of the changes and the changes in ownership and the different needs people have. And we're tasked with trying to maintain this mile and a half, you know, as much as we can.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can't honestly approve other wood-like materials and not approve.
Right.
Well, again, if it were in some place, you know, top of siding for a porch or something, I would come down differently. But
Our problem
I mean, this is like slate. So
I mean, our problem, of course, if someone comes to us in a couple of months with some terrible synthetic material.
we don't do it for all synthetic material.
No.
I know.
Right.
So that's really it. That's our. Yeah.
We made one mistake, but it wasn't on Lime Street, but we had plastic fences or shiny vinyl fences. So.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
And for your questions and your concern. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it.
too. This is a very clear presentation. I appreciate it.
You may keep it.
This is yours for a copy.
I
So you
have
have
so much paperwork. I mean, yeah. Okay.
More ahead of you, unfortunately. Thank you for your
Okay.
time.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, I am a bit concerned about people who did not show up. Did they tell you, Martha, they would not be here and would be calling in?
It sounded like somebody. Is anyone on the phone?
Yes, this is Deb Swansky for 43 Lime Street.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
You
great.
are up next on the agenda, and you've probably been sitting there. I hope you've been able to do something else.
I've actually been learning throughout the process.
Okay.
No, thank you for having me.
Okay, so this is the 3-season porch conversion at
Yes.
43 Lime Street.
Former Forbes house. Just for everyone's reference. Okay. All right. Let's see. I have this
Packet of photos here.
here.
I sent out, but
I have that. 43 is odd numbers. Let's see, we have photos.
We're just gathering the paperwork to have it right in front of us.
Yes, thank you. My apologies. I'm out of the state presently.
Yeah.
There are no pictures that look like that have the porch. Okay.
Okay. I think we have all the pictures in front of us, drawings in front of us. Tell us, Deborah, what directions do these face?
The rendering where all the windows, the bank of windows solidly are showing is facing the street directly to Lime Street. Where you see the exterior door, that's an existing exit facing the library.
This is existing right here.
But this diagram would be facing the
Number one, Deborah?
new porch design places. So the photo is of what's there now. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
And,
there's existing photos in the email. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, we see it.
Oh, and so this diagram would be facing the street.
Yes.
Right.
Looks nice.
And and what material would this be made of?
There's clad casement windows. We're using the existing cedar shake roof. The slate floor will remain, and then it would be clapboard siding, cedar. So the materials really remain the same.
Is what you have there is not clapboard?
It's a mix. There is some horizontal paneling. There's a lot of screening that's in disrepair. But we would continue with the existing clapboard profile of the main house.
Okay. And that's wood clapboard?
Yes.
Okay. Are there propane tanks? And you mentioned a split system, heating and AC. Are those going? What's the placement of those mechanical?
The propane tanks are already existing down by the barn with access to the library parking lot. So the split system would not be would be wall mounted, not facing the street, to the rear of the porch.
Okay, so
This is this.
Okay.
Is this the end here?
And okay, and then Deborah, we
Yes.
were also next looking at the picture that's existing. It says existing porch with the large windows,
Yes.
screens.
Yes.
And that's going to be replaced with
Okay.
the new porch design. Okay. And this is is that the library in the back? Is that the library in the background?
Yes.
Actually, it's the green building that you see just to the right of the porch is a barn that is on our property.
Oh, okay. So the library would be behind us as we're facing this picture?
It would be further to your right.
Okay.
And behind, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like the roof line in your proposed is also changing, is that right?
It is not. I think what's confusing in this picture of where the exit door is on the side, they had added some architectural detail and that I'm not sure will incorporate just that where he put copper flashing over the door. But the roof line does not change at all. He got a little creative there, and I think it's too expensive.
The image with the screened porch,
yes.
The roof line looks very flat.
Yes.
And the images of the drawings that I'm seeing seem to have a quite a much more of a
steeper
pitch.
Steeper pitch, yeah.
So are we talking about the same structure? I'm just
Yes,
confused.
we are, and you're right. I can see that in his renderings, and I'm not sure what that, because we're not changing. The whole purpose is really to just try and enclose it and not change the roof or the flooring. But I see that in his drawing, but we certainly are not changing that.
Hi, Deb. It's Deb Zarnecki.
Hi.
So we're looking at what the elevation that we're looking at is where you would drive up, right, to your driveway,
Yes,
where
exactly.
it's like 2 bays. So I think was that originally a garage? Is that what it was?
It wasn't, and I was actually surprised just looking through old documents. We thought that's exactly what it was, because I was just surprised at the architecture of it in general, and thought maybe they were allowed to do that just because it might have been a garage. But no, that was an addition, and we're really just trying to bring it back to looking more contiguous with the house and the barn and the architecture.
So the elevation is not changing, but you're removing the 2 openings and putting, it looks like 4 casement windows, or?
Yes.
Okay.
And it will be mirrored on the other side as well, though it's not reflected in these drawings.
Foundation? That foundation's not changing either, right?
Stone.
No, it's not.
Okay.
And tell us about is this her sheet? Yeah, you just say includes new windows. You're using wood clapboard on the outside wood portion. What's the composition of the windows? Are those wood?
I think that might be.
They're Genwell divided light clad casement windows.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
They are clad casement windows with divided light.
Plaid?
Clad.
Clad. I'm sorry,
Oh,
clad. Wood clad casement windows.
Okay.
And then, Deb, on the other elevation where I guess you show us a photograph of a brick house with
An example.
with an
Oh, yeah.
So that's the example for the entryway?
Which is along on the side, right?
It was more to demonstrate the paneling detail that he shows facing Line Street above the stone foundation.
Okay.
So there will be just a bit of a gap between the foundation and where the window starts, and that's just a paneling detail. And that was the closest representation I could find to show you how that would present.
Okay. All right.
And then this last drawing is what?
Number 3, drawing number 3.
Drawing number 3 is just elevation. Yeah.
I think
It's more of a profile view.
yes, of the trim detail, yes.
Yeah.
And then how about
So what is the roof right now? Is it a wood-shaped roof? Or?
It is, yes. It's a wood roof, cedar.
She said that the split system is wall-mounted, not facing the street. So is it inside the split system, the mechanicals?
Yes, it would be inside the porch.
Inside.
But you have a condensing unit, an exterior. A split means there's an outdoor unit and an indoor unit. So
So if you were to look at, let me see if I can see what the 1, 2, third picture down where there is the floor plan essentially of how the windows lay out, you'll note there's a television he has drawn mounted on the wall, which is really the only solid wall on the porch that's currently existing. And that would be where the split unit would go.
the indoor unit.
Yeah.
Right,
And
where
the,
would
and the condenser,
yes.
I'm sorry, the condenser would be on the exterior of that solid wall, not visible from the street.
Behind.
So that's
Behind
right
the house.
behind the house.
Yeah.
We're already there, so, okay.
Yeah, on the propane thing. Yep. That's a good placement for the
And
mechanical.
you have the rough dimensions of the condenser? Is it? Would this be
We do not at this
Actually,
time.
I'm sorry.
It's a ductless system.
Oh, this is ductless.
Yeah.
Which would be,
It's probably standard Mitsubishi.
Right. It's piped. Yeah.
Is it Mitsubishi? Do you know the brand?
I don't believe it's been selected yet.
Oh, okay.
I think we're waiting to see how it all lays out and the placement on that. There's only one place it could go on that solid wall. But again, we're pretty much purists, so it won't be seen from the street.
And what is behind your property? I guess I'm just asking because I'm concerned about public views of the condenser. We regularly consider screening or plantings or.
It faces the rear of our it faces our rear driveway.
Okay.
So it's I did send our plans to our neighbors and the Edmondsons and asked if they had any questions or concerns. I think they've been happy with the improvements we've made thus far to the house. So they didn't express any, but certainly we're welcome to any questions anyone might have.
Right. Okay. Any other questions?
no, I think it's going to be a nice improvement, actually. And as long as
it does appear to be an improvement.
It really does, and as long
not
as.
all our applications always look like improvement.
Thank you. We agree with you. We have a hard time looking at it now once we saw the renderings of just unsure how they ever did that arch to begin with. So we're looking forward to sort of bringing it back to a more traditional profile.
It would be wonderful with the house. Good, and so the mechanicals will not be visible. So the motion, if we could make one.
I'll make a motion that we approve as submitted with the following notes, that the mechanical unit will be located such that it's not visible from Lime Street, that it be identified on a plan, that the roof is remaining unchanged.
The roof pitch.
Well,
and
I guess I'm seeing a new roof design here, but I'm hearing on the phone. I'm hearing that the roof isn't changing.
Okay.
So that's what and I'm not opposed to it changing. By the way, the pitch is nice.
I am.
My only thought is that if you are changing the roof, we need to understand what it is and what the materiality is and so forth. So if your plan is to keep the roof as is and it's a wood roof, then I want to note that. If you would like to change the roof to this design, we just need a bit more information about that. That's all.
No, I would like
any changes to the roof should be reviewed or submitted.
Yeah, submitted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
The understandings also are that the window material be wood clad,
divided light.
Divided.
I think
as shown in the diagrams. It's not really specified.
No, I have it down here though.
And that the wood siding be, how would you describe
clapboard?
that?
Is it clapboard?
Yes.
Cedar clapboard siding?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Deb seconds. Any discussion?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Great.
you for the careful presentation and the diagram.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Bye-bye.
So on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm concerned about, I guess, is there anyone else on the phone? Can we, I guess, turn that off or not? Or I guess the meeting's still going, so somebody can call in.
So we don't have.
We didn't have
Gilbert.
anything from the Halfords, and we didn't have anything from McShane and Brink.
The Gilboro, we have to, that's like for like. Can we?
I talked to them.
Can we just finish up?
Sure.
Others first. I'm concerned with the timing of these C of A's because we have 60 days, 65 days from the date of submission until, and if we don't act, it's approved. So that.
Does that mean, John, if they don't present, then it's still approved?
Yes, we have to act on a C of A within 65 days.
Somebody doesn't physically come here.
So the Halfords were here, and I think last month, and we had very serious reservations about the stamped walkway they proposed. It looked modern. It didn't look historic. Deanie has seen, but Esther Halfordy wrote to me, and we had a back and forth. They, unfortunately, have an asphalt front drive, so they may replace that. And they're now talking about another...
right, the leg that goes around the new
well, I'm rather unclear about exactly where it would be placed, but another walkway material that from the picture looks appropriate. Another stone it's not stamped. It doesn't look cutesy or.
Okay.
So. But am I correct? Do you have the date of their CFA
It's 4/8/22, so we're there.
So
I mean, we're 2 days away.
I think we have to
deny that.
To deny it and write them, Marcia, and invite them to resubmit.
Resubmit. I'm not approving.
No, we've got questions, and we
big
need to see a sample. And
right.
So, someone make a motion to deny with an invitation and reapply.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Deanie, motion to deny based on lack of, based on the lack of information.
Well, or lack of discussion about proposed alternatives to their original submission.
Okay.
Is that including their little by appointment sign too, or is that still an issue?
That's a different issue. I mean, we had approved that. For better or worse, hindsight's wonderful.
Okay.
That was one of the conditions.
3 things with them.
Okay, so this, though, is denied.
The sign, the sidewalk, the driveway?
Well, the driveway's a like for like, if they decide to do it. Because it is asphalt. Not the whole driveway down the side, which is gravel, but from the road to the barn. That driveway was there.
Okay.
And it's asphalt.
Okay.
So I don't think we can do
Are
much
you
about it.
seconding?
I will second. But I think, are they proposing to, I think they're proposing to pave the whole thing, because remember he said when they get trucks and deliveries?
Yeah, well, we don't, it's very unclear what they want to do.
It's unclear. If they just, I think what they would like to do is repave the asphalt part and have a sidewalk, a stone sidewalk in front.
Of stamped. The stamped concrete, which is what we
Yeah, but we didn't like the stamped
No, we
concrete.
didn't.
But she has sent a picture of another type of material and said reactions. And I replied and said something innocuous, speaking for only myself. It looks like an improvement, but I'd want to see a sample.
Right.
And, let's talk about it.
Well, we don't have a choice.
But anyway, if they did that and then had the walkway in the front and around the corner, they would not need to have deliveries to the rear.
But none of this,
We haven't,
this is speculation on our part.
this is speculation.
Yeah.
They could just have Sullivan Paving come there tomorrow, right, and pave the whole thing? Like the whole around?
No.
No?
They could, because it's not all asphalt. The only asphalt is from the road to the front of the barn.
You can't put in a new, or you can't,
So when he said that the original driveway, this is what I recall him saying, the original driveway was paved. So the original driveway went like this, and then...
No, he was
And then he put his barn right here, and now there's gravel all around here.
Right, so the gravel is, they can't pave that.
That's what he wants to do, though.
I know.
Right.
But my point is, if they just bring deliveries to the front of the barn and then have a pathway that goes off to the right and to the side door, then they would not need to pave.
Anyway,
But I mean,
we
this is
just,
like-
we have to move
We
on.
were
because
tossing around all these ideas,
do we
They're not
actually
here.
make a motion to deny, or do we?
Yeah.
we make
I think we have to deny, and I would say,
Or do we not approve their
well,
C of A?
deny,
How do you make the motion? I don't know.
it's the same thing, isn't it?
Oh, no, is it, Martha?
Well, what we have is based on lack of discussion.
The result is the same.
Right, so,
Right.
Do it.
Right.
yeah, okay.
Not until there's further discussion. When I have
So
dealing
let's
with...
phrase it, it sounds a little gentler.
Right.
We make a
We took
motion
up
not to approve because of lack of discussion and information at the June 6th meeting, and we invite them to reapply. It has to be clear that
It's denied.
I think it has to be clear that it's denied. Let's say denied.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, we're adding denied
And we can
back?
explain in a
Okay.
letter that it's because of our time constraints.
Okay, denied. We're adding denied word back in there.
Sorry. This is,
And I second that,
6-6 meeting.
and I second.
Yeah,
okay.
and we all...
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Oh, these are gonna be fun minutes.
Okay, I have...
Holy cow, we're
I mean-
gonna be full.
Okay, I have people turning up at my house at 12:30 to chop down trees or...
Oh.
So-
Okay, what about,
I need to-
number 97? Have they filed a C of A, and when was that dated?
They have filed the C of A. We're going to have to continue it.
Yeah,
But they just filed it,
They filed it.
after the April
yeah,
meeting.
just a few days ago, right? Yeah.
Filed it, and they were included in the public hearing.
May 31st is, this is dated.
It starts, they're on the clock now.
Okay.
Okay, so we can...
So, but that can just be a public hearing.
How many of these?
Continue.
I have to go.
Okay, and then like for like, you were talking about Gilboro?
Right. I called them, and they said everything is going to be the same materials, the same everything. There's no change. Roof repairs, window glass, and the same gutters. It's all going to be the same.
Okay, that sounds like a like for like.
And then 45 lines.
So that's approved, so the like
Well,
for
we
like...
don't have to
We don't have to
approve
approve it, so that's okay.
Just
Yeah,
note that we
Okay.
have verified that everything's the same.
And the like for 45 Lime Street, roof repairs, fence repairs, driveway gravel. That again, all materials are the same.
Okay.
Same design, everything.
Okay, good.
Driveway grading doesn't include...
They just need to put some more gravel on there.
Yeah.
We level it.
They're
Level it.
at
Leveling,
hill.
okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And I suggest we have to save our discussion of new business.
yep, I think we do. And then, so we're continuing McShane
Yes.
and Brink, okay.
Yeah.
So I think we got checked some things off, right?
We did, we really
checked
did.
off everything.
We've got-
Up through 16.
We have everything, which is really
Good.
wonderful.
We got two things.
Okay, so we're going to close the meeting.
Yes.
Make a move.
To adjourn.
Jeannie moves to adjourn.
A second.
Russ seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Russ second. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And so McShane is extended to the next meeting?
Yeah, because they just filed it. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, but I get your point.
Yeah, really.
I
Totally
just
get your point.
can't believe that they would consider something other than...
Me too.
They're gonna have to do that in 50 years.
Yeah.
There's no proven performance. Actually, my husband, I mentioned it to him yesterday when I got and I really did think that it was that small back building. But he does commercial projects, and he said for a cathedral in Hartford or something, he said that they had to wait because the historic district would not let them do anything else. But I just, I just went in, I just can't believe that they would consider something else.
And you can't believe that we would approve it.
We would approve it, yeah.
But there we go.
But you know what? They would turn around and be, quite...
They've been difficult.
They'd come in and say, well, our second choice is solar panel. And I'm sorry, the church, they have a healthy budget, but $100,000.
Nothing, exactly.
Right.
Well, I'm saying it's not nothing.
Well,
I mean,
for them to say, okay, for 100 years, we don't have to bother with, worrying about our roof. And that,
I see you.
I
agree with you.
I worry about the uneven aging of it. Like, it's nice when the building and the roof ages it the same way, instead of having, that will not be the situation, because it's plastic.
We may catch some flack over that, by the way, just so you know. I mean, the public may, I don't know.
Well, you could have voted no.
I know, I started to. I was this close.
boy.
Then you catch flack that way.
I obviously didn't have my act together
Especially with this kind of
to bring
institution.
anybody vegetables. Do you need more?
Oh, ours are coming in.
Oh.
Yeah, we're good now.
I love the house, by the way.
Pamela's presentation was great.
Yeah.
Now see, she's like our poster child.
I know. She gets the gold star today.
It's a big difference when you have the means, to do everything properly. It just does.
Right.
And you can see that. It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So, it was a wonderful presentation, and the place is going to be beautiful.
Right.
But, we are in a mixed...
But it's nice to see
We're not in a sort of a gated community here.
Right.
We're in a...
Yeah.
But it's nice, Claudia using Chris Caulfield. She's using Skip
I have to go.
I'm sure, and Deb Swansky lived and did that nice house by the new construction building out there.
Email me when I can drop stuff off.
Okay. So she does a fabulous job. So there's certain people that we know are going to do the right thing.
Yes.
And nice and not, try and do something cheap or whatever. So, at least we had some of those today.
Right.
And just so you know, I came in planning to vote no on the church, unless that material was close enough in appearance. So it's hard.
I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that they would consider that. I mean, $100,000. I mean, I could see if it's going to be $250,000, and we wouldn't be able to get the material, and there's roof issues. But was he going to say, "Oh, the roof is leaking. We need to get this going now"? That's the other thing. He was almost ready to say that.
Well, he did say that. He said that it is leaking.
Constant periodically, which probably means big storms.
Right.
Right, I know, but to the point of we're always going to, I feel like we're zoning board of appeals. Everybody's got, Mr. Sacrosano, oh, I've got this, I've got that.
Oh, that.
And
I'm just not. I don't know. I mean, we accept him as I have seen
the gutter guy and everybody there.
Totally internal heating AC units. Now, I've seen them in smaller places. Maybe they don't work in a bigger place.
We have the split systems at our place in Groton, and they've got, and each room has one, and I was going to take pictures there yesterday, and I completely forgot about it, and our condenser unit is on a bracket on the side of the house, and I am pretty sure that everything is piped over to
See, that's it. It's pipe. It's not ducted.
It's, and I don't know how the guy did it, but remember, he also said he's got plaster and all that jazz. I mean, my place is smaller and, you know, maybe they did it, but.
So there's, the problem is the aesthetics internal is that with the type of system that you're talking about, you have a piece of machinery hanging on the wall.
Right.
Right? In a historic house, that's not ideal. There are cassettes that you can put like in a ceiling that then duck down. When I say cassette, there's a fan, there's a coil, the refrigerant passes through it.
And it sends out.
And then but that's still hard to integrate into an historic house. But it might be possible. So, but those type of systems basically have a very small refrigerant pipe that you can run for hundreds of feet.
Right.
You know, that allows the condenser, the exterior condenser, to be placed in a different location than that stringent requirement. So for some reason, and I don't know about the heating aspect of that. That's where he may be right about that. I figured most of these homes have.
I think the heating's just electric, couldn't it be?
It would be electric or gas or, you know, the old homes all have rated. Because I have the same, I don't have air conditioning in my house. And I've started to look at all of this. And I guess the point is that whoever people are dealing with, they're recommending a ducted split system. And maybe that is the right answer. I don't know for sure. But I do know there is another technology.
Right.
And it was actually that same document that he sent, that same product had two options.
Well, and I mean, how convincing is the excuse that, well, I've got guys who don't want to think outside the box or think about alternatives.
That's the part.
I know.
You know, if I were sitting in his shoes and the commissioner said that to me, I would say, well, let me go back and check with him. I'll look at it and come back to you.
Right. But I feel like with him, he had so many things going, the steps, the stairs, and, you know, we just can't keep dragging him along either. It's like we just...
And basically, his house looks, you know, he's kept it up. He's attuned to historic looks. I think Tammy's suggestion was valuable.
Right.
Right. Well, I wouldn't have approved that if it were exposed on the top.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And you can't do lattice there. It just would look really, really strange. But at least we got the generator situation next door taken care of. Remember One Lime Street? He did plant all of his things that we discussed. So.
I think he could have used a landscape designer, but never mind.
I know, it's like, you know,
so we can't say,
we got to check something off.
We can't say that.
No.
To somebody, we can't say, well, you must hire us.
Right. But I think we checked some things off, right?
Good.
I thought Deanie is in